the school beauty's personal bodyguard. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 976, Creating an Earth-Level Master. If his own meridians could be repaired, then Uncle Fu's meridians could certainly be repaired. His own energy was omnipotent, and Lin Yi believed that this wouldn't be difficult. It was just a matter of time. As long as he didn't exhaust his energy every time, he could recover his strength in a short period of time, and wouldn't be vulnerable to the enemy. However, Lin Yi wasn't sure if Uncle Fu would be able to practice internal martial arts again after he repaired his meridians. But no matter what, once this idea came to mind, Lin Yi couldn't help but want to test it out. If Uncle Fu's strength was restored, then Lin Yi would have the help of an Earth-level master. Just thinking about it was so awesome, and Lin Yi couldn't help but get excited. "You mean you can repair meridians?" Uncle Fu asked uncertainly. "If the Sun family can, you should be able to do it too, Uncle Fu. I'll spend some time helping you restore your meridians." Lin Yi nodded and said again with certainty. An uncontrollable glint of excitement flashed across Uncle Fu's eyes, but then it died down. "Xiao Yi, even if my meridians are restored, I don't have any true energy in my body anymore. If I want to practice, I have to start from the beginning." "What's wrong with starting from the beginning?" Lin Yi said. "You were able to reach the early stage of the Earth rank 20 years ago. Isn't this your extraordinary talent? It's not too late to start over now." "Of course I have talent," Uncle Fu sighed. "However, my strength is the result of the accumulation of countless natural treasures, plus the assistance of that thing, so I can have such an impressive strength." But now, after listening to Uncle Fu's words, Lin Yi fell silent. What he thought was a bit simple. Yes, although Uncle Fu was an Earth rank master before, he might not be able to practice to the Earth rank again now. You know, in many cases, upgrades and breakthroughs require coincidences. No matter what, let's repair your meridians first? Maybe there are other ways. Lin Yi was a little unwilling to give up. The temptation of an Earth-level master was too great. If there really was an Earth-level master, then the likes of Shen Mamazu would be completely weak. "Okay, since Xiao, you have such high expectations of me, how can I let you down?" Uncle Fu nodded with a smile. "Thinking of protecting Miss Chu, I have to continue practicing. Okay, let's stop here for today. In the next few days, I will come here every day to repair some of your injuries and meridians until you are fully recovered," Lin Yi said. "Every day?" Uncle Fu gave a surprised look, giving a bitter smile. "Your ki regenerates incredibly quickly. I don't even know where you draw it from. You know, in the city, ki is incredibly scarce. Every time you lose strength, you manage to recover so quickly. You're truly amazing." Lin Yi smiled, but offered no explanation. The details of the jade pendant space couldn't be shared with outsiders. These secrets could only be shared with the old man. Lin Yi couldn't trust anyone else. "I'm bored. If you want to reminisce about the past, you can continue chatting with me." "Okay." Uncle Fu understood Lin Yi's intention. He wanted to ask about the details of his past, but he didn't want to share too much. With Lin Yi's current strength, knowing those details wouldn't be necessary. It wouldn't benefit him. "I'll keep Uncle Chu's secret about what happened today." Lin Yi turned and left Uncle Fu's room. "Thank you," Uncle Fu uttered solemnly. These words, naturally, encompassed more than just Lin Yi's confidentiality. They also mentioned Lin Yi's commitment to helping him restore his meridians and strength. Chu Pengzhan, Chu Mengyao and Shen Yashu were all sitting on the sofa anxiously, waiting for news from Lin Yi. Uncle Fu can be said to be Chu Pengzhan's right-hand man, and he has been loyal over the years. So he cares a lot about Uncle Fu's safety. And Chu Mengyao, apart from Chu Pengzhan, Lin Yi and Xiaoshu, the person closest to her is Uncle Fu, so she also prays in her heart that Lin Yi can cure Uncle Fu. Don't look at Shen Yashu laughing all day long. In fact, she is the most determined admirer of Brother Arrow in her heart. She also cares about Uncle Fu, but she is even more certain that Brother Arrow can definitely cure Uncle Fu. The first rule of her little wife is to believe and be sure that your man is the most powerful person. "Xiao, how is it?" Chu Pengzhan saw Lin Yi coming out, hurriedly stood up, and walked over quickly. "Uncle Fu is awake, but the follow-up treatment will take a few days," Lin Yi said. "Awake? That's great." Chu Pengzhan's face lit up instantly. "Xiao, thank you so much, Uncle Chu. You're being polite. Lin Yi waved his hand. It's just a small favor. Can we go see him? Chu Pengzhan asked. Of course. Uncle Fu is in good spirits. Aside from being unable to get out of bed, Lin Yi thought to himself that Chu Pengzhan was being too cautious. Uncle Fu had just been telling him a story. But Chu Pengzhan used common sense to judge. In his view, Uncle Fu was like a patient who had just come off the operating table, and Lin Yi was the surgeon. That's why Chu Pengzhan questioned Lin Yi like any other patient's family member. The pressure on the Chu family instantly dissipated, and Pengzhan Group returned to its former self. Even some of the company's top executives didn't know what had happened a few days ago, but since Chu Pengzhan didn't explain, they naturally didn't ask. In short, everything was over. Songshan City returned to peace. All of Pengzhan Group's enemies seemed to have gone dormant, vanishing into thin air. Even Zhao Kaibing calmed down and quietly began renovating the shanty towns. He could only earn a living by working diligently in industry. Medicine King's body was covered in needles, and no solution had yet been found. Although Medicine King, a Zhuan-level master, could sleep while sitting, these needles were like a time bomb, poised to deplete his power at any moment. Lin Yi's life had also returned to normal, but now he had taken over Uncle Fu's duties and served as the driver for the young lady and Xiao Shu. The Bentley had been repaired at the repair shop, but Lin Yi didn't like driving such a formal car, and he wasn't a full-time driver, so he opted for Chu Mengyao's Audi S5. The only difference was that there was now Tang Yun, the new driver. The young lady's attitude towards Tang Yun seemed to have improved, but they didn't talk much, and there was little communication along the way. Chapter 977, The Secret. Chu Mengyao remained her usual aloof self. She and Xiao Shu sat in the back of the S5, leaving the passenger seat for Tang Yun. The eldest lady only greeted her when she got in and out, though with a touch of indifference, less hostility than before, more like a casual acquaintance. Tang Yun's attitude toward the eldest lady was baffling. In the past, Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashu had always displayed an inexplicable hostility when they saw her, but now, it seemed as if they were just a friend. Had they finally despised her and no longer considered her a competitor, or had they given up on Lin Yi? If it was the former, Tang Yun felt she couldn't let her guard down. But if it was the latter, she would find it strange. Since they didn't like Lin Yi, then their foursome was a bit too strange. In reality, Tang Yun didn't understand the eldest lady's personality. She was cold on the outside but warm on the inside. When she accepted someone, she would go from indifference to enthusiasm. In fact, until now, the eldest lady's attitude towards Lin Yi was still lukewarm, but deep down, she regarded him as a friend she couldn't lose. Chu Mengyao didn't know what to say to Tang Yun, and with Lin Yi around, she really couldn't say anything. She tried to reach out to Tang Yun, but found that the two of them lived in completely different worlds. The eldest lady had never experienced the things going on in Tang Yun's family, and Chu Mengyao didn't want to talk about her own family affairs, as that would undoubtedly seem like she was showing off in front of Tang Yun. After 2 days, Lin Yi himself felt a little awkward. In the car, he wanted to say something to Tang Yun, but the thought of the eldest lady staring at him from behind prevented Lin Yi from saying anything to Tang Yun. The eldest lady also seemed to be bothered by Tang Yun being in front of her, and she rarely spoke even to Xiao Shu. Before, the topics of conversation between the eldest lady and Xiao Shu were usually all over the place, but since both of them were well off, it was natural for them to talk about new clothing styles and cosmetics. However, now, the eldest lady seemed to be deliberately avoiding these topics. Fortunately, after 2 days of treatment by Lin Yi, Uncle Fu's body has recovered as before. He just doesn't have the power of his in-laws anymore, but that doesn't affect his movements. The task of being a full-time driver fell on Uncle Fu again, which made Lin Yi breathe a sigh of relief. On the highway from Yanjing to Songshan City, a black Audi with a special license plate was driving at high speed. In the car, a middle-aged man and a young girl were talking. These two people were Feng Xianlong and Feng Xiaoxiao, father and daughter. "I'm never going back." Feng Xiaoxiao's face was filled with displeasure. "It's been so long, and the tests haven't yielded any results. How much longer do I have left to live?" "Xiaoxiao, you should trust modern medical technology. Look. This is the report from when you first arrived in Yanjing, and this is from when we left. Your condition has clearly improved slightly," Feng Xianlong said, pointing to the reports. "Improved? Did they cure you?" "They just had me draw blood every day." And how could that improve? Pengzhan curled her lips. I even had a seizure midway through. If it weren't for Lin Yi, I would have died. Lin Yi, Feng Xianlong's eyes narrowed at the name. As one of the most mysterious intelligence agencies, Feng Xianlong had a clear understanding of the recent events in Songshan City. Lin Yi had unexpectedly confronted the illegitimate offspring of the Yu, Xiao, and Zhao families. Although Yubit and Paibo's deaths and their idiocy weren't directly related to Lin Yi, they were nonetheless responsible. He had forged a deep hatred for the Yu, Xiao, and Zhao families. What intrigued Feng Xianlong the most was that Lin Yi, after suffering a serious injury, had surprisingly recovered and regained his strength so quickly, and the same was true for the dog beside him. This meant that Lin Yi must have a formidable medical expert by his side. Feng Xianlong's information was naturally the most comprehensive and detailed, but he still hadn't figured out who had healed Lin Yi's injuries and restored his strength. During this time, although Lin Yi had visited Guanzuman's home once, it was only after he had recovered from his injuries, so it was unlikely that this person was Guanzuman. Feng Xianlong had previously speculated that this person was Guanzuman. He had accompanied Feng Xiao back to Songshan City to meet Guanzuman and ask him for a longevity and detoxification pill to see if it could cure Feng Xiao's illness. However, after this incident, Feng Xianlong concluded that Guanzuman wasn't the one who had created a longevity and detoxification pill. If Guanzuman could create these miraculous medicines, he would have done it long ago. Why would he wait until now? Besides, why did everything connected to Lin Yi become so strange and mysterious? Lin Yi had appeared at the auction before. Although Lin Yi had assisted his team on a mission before, as an outsider at the time, his identity was kept secret. Feng Xianlong, a man who knew the rules, didn't ask much about Lin Yi's affairs. But now, for his daughter's sake, Feng Xianlong had no choice but to ask Lin Yi again. Besides, there was another meaning behind this. Did his daughter seem to like Lin Yi? You had an attack in Beijing? How come I didn't know? Feng Xianlong turned to look at his daughter. Such a big deal, why didn't you tell me? It wasn't anything serious. I just fainted while showering. Luckily, Lin Yi found me in time. I don't know how he did it, but I recovered quickly. Feng Xiao had been afraid her father would worry, and since this wasn't a big deal, she wasn't in any trouble, so she hadn't mentioned it. You were showering, and Lin Yi was right there with you. Feng Xianlong was stunned. Huh? Feng Xiao suddenly realized that she seemed to have let something slip, and her face immediately turned red, a little embarrassed. No, I am who I am. Anyway, I am not what you imagined. Feng Xiao was a little incoherent in front of her father for the first time. She waved her hands like a child who had done something wrong, and she didn't even know what she was saying. Haha, Xiao, you don't have to deny it so quickly. Feng Xianlong smiled and waved his hand, interrupting his daughter's explanation. Actually, Dad is not that kind of unenlightened person, and Dad has told you before that he supports you to find a boyfriend. It would even be best if you gave birth to a grandson or granddaughter for Dad. Chapter 978 Father Feng looking for Lin Yi. Ah, what are you talking about? I don't understand. Feng Xiao covered her ears, not daring to listen, but her heart suddenly skipped a beat. Was she going to fall in love? Feng Xiao had always shied away from friendship and love, two of life's most important emotions. She knew her situation, that she could die any day. She dreaded the separations between friends and loved ones. She didn't want to feel the pain and grief of death, nor did she want to cause others the same pain and grief. So, in her 18 years, friendship and love were practically non-existent. She had no real friends, only a group of playful acquaintances. If she disappeared, just like now, with less contact with her racing friends, they wouldn't seek her out, and new ones would soon join them. Feng Xiao felt like a mere passerby in this world, a bystander, arriving and departing in a hurry. When life finally came to its final lesson, she would leave peacefully and calmly. But her father's words today had stirred a new light in Feng Xiao's closed heart. Although she was afraid of the hurt that friendship and love would bring when they parted, she still had some expectations and desires. She wanted to experience the ups and downs of friendship and love. If she had a close friend and a lover who shared her feelings, she would probably die without regrets, right? But Feng Xiao felt that it would be a bit selfish to do so. Friendship was fine, but for love, would she let her lover endure the pain of losing her? Feng Xiaoxiao thought it was very cruel. Although Feng Xiaoxiao didn't say anything about her father's distress over the years, she could see it in her heart. He missed his mother deeply, but he had no choice but to work hard to ease his love sickness. Sometimes, a small thought, planted in the heart, turns into a seed, which will slowly take root and sprout in the body, and eventually will uncontrollably turn into a small tree breaking through the ground. Feng Xiaoxiao hadn't dared to think about love before. She knew she wasn't qualified to. But today, with her father's encouragement, although she outwardly denied it, deep down, she felt a wave of hope. She really wanted to have a relationship before she died. Even if it was just to get a taste of love, that would be fine. But no, it would hurt others. Although Feng Xiaoxiao enjoyed playing pranks, they were always within a certain controllable range, creating trouble and misunderstandings. And they were only done against hateful people. If it were done to her lover, Feng Xiaoxiao wouldn't have the heart to do it. "Dad, do you miss Mom?" Feng Xiaoxiao suddenly asked. Feng Xianlong was stunned, then a look of pain and reminiscence flashed in his eyes. "Yes, of course. Why are you asking that all of a sudden? Then let me find a boyfriend. He'll miss me, and he'll be miserable too." Feng Xiaoxiao shook her head. "Besides, my child will miss his mom, just like me. I don't want them to suffer." Xiaoxiao, Feng Xianlong sighed. He understood his daughter's feelings. However, his daughter's thoughts only solidified his resolve to have a talk with Lin Yi. "Haha, Dad, don't worry about me. I'm doing fine now. As long as you stop taking me to the doctor, I'll be happy." Feng Xiaoxiao shook her head and said casually. "Xiaoxiao, tell Dad the truth. Do you like Lin Yi or not?" Feng Xianlong didn't answer his daughter. Instead, he turned around and looked at his daughter seriously. "Huh?" Feng Xiaoxiao didn't expect her father to continue to dwell on this question. Moreover, his questions became more and more direct, making it difficult for Feng Xiaoxiao to answer. Did she like Lin Yi? Feng Xiaoxiao didn't know. Her initial feelings towards him were anger and a desire for revenge. Suddenly, Feng Xiaoxiao had an idea. That is, if she pretended to like Lin Yi, wouldn't she be able to experience the sweetness of love? Then, if she died, Lin Yi would definitely be sad. Would that also achieve her goal of revenge? Humph, Lin Yi, you peed on me and set off firecrackers on my butt. This is simply a great shame. I have decided that from today on, I will like you. After you fall deeply in love with me, I will die. Let's see if you are sad." Of course, Feng Xiaoxiao's idea cannot be told to her father. She can only plan silently in her heart. Now that she has figured this out, Feng Xiaoxiao is very happy. She can enjoy the taste of love and achieve the purpose of revenge on Lin Yi. It is really killing two birds with one stone. Why not do it? Xiaoxiao, ask him out. I want to meet him. Feng Xianlong saw his daughter's expression and knew that his guess was almost right. Even if his daughter could not be said to love Lin Yi, she at least had a good impression of him, and it seemed that their relationship was already quite close. The daughter fainted in the bathroom while taking a shower. She must have been naked, and Lin Yi was next to her. What does this mean? Huh? Feng Xiaoxiao was startled, looking at her father in disbelief. You asked me to ask him to come see you. Yes, what's the problem? Feng Xianlong smiled. Xiaoxiao, don't worry. I just want to ask him about your condition when you were ill and how he treated you. You know, your condition has obviously improved a little. Maybe we can find a cure from him, is that so? Feng Xiaoxiao said, a little unconvinced. Of course, Feng Xianlong nodded. If you don't ask me to come, I'll go find him myself. No, don't go find him. Let me talk to him first, Feng Xiaoxiao said, startled. But she was puzzled. She had used this trip to trick Lin Yi into coming a few days ago, so why did her father actually want to meet Lin Yi right after that? Could she be so unlucky? Had he predicted it? Feng Xiaoxiao felt depressed. That's fine. I'll stay in Songshan City for a few days. You can bring him home then, Feng Xianlong said. Okay, Feng Xiaoxiao agreed reluctantly. She had told Lin Yi that her father wanted to see him, but it was just an excuse to get him to the hotel. But now it had become a reality, leaving Feng Xiaoxiao feeling a bit depressed. She was going to get revenge on Lin Yi, but she couldn't wait until Lin Yi met his father. Otherwise, things would change. After meeting his parents, how could she still get revenge? She didn't want to get herself involved. Chapter 979 Xia Oxiao has an appointment. During lunch break at noon, when Lin Yi and Tang Yun were eating in the cafeteria, they received a call from Xia Oxiao. Lin Yi looked at the caller ID on his phone and couldn't help but frown slightly. To be honest, Lin Yi has always been a little confused about what Xia Oxiao is thinking. He always felt that she was a little weird. She hated him to death a few days ago, but fell in love with him a few days later. If Lin Yi didn't think there were some unknown hidden secrets in this, he would even think that Xia Oxiao had a masochistic tendency. "Why don't you answer the phone?" Tang Yun asked curiously when she saw Lin Yi picked up the phone but didn't answer it immediately. "It's Xia Oxiao," Lin Yi said. "Oh," Tang Yun's expression froze when she heard Xia Oxiao's name, but she still said, "Hurry up and answer it. What if something happens?" "Yeah," Lin Yi nodded and picked up the phone. "Xia Oxiao, Lin Yi, I'm back in Songshan City. Where are you? Do you miss me?" Xia Oxiao's voice was as sunny as ever, completely different from the Xia Oxiao who sounded a little sad when chatting with her father in the car before. If Xia Oxiao didn't really have an incurable disease, no one would believe that this cheerful girl would have such a big sadness in her heart. "I'm at school," Lin Yi said. "If we're classmates, then I miss you a little, Tisk," Xia Oxiao said, a little annoyed. "Okay, classmate Lin, you can't just touch your classmate's breasts." Lin Yi was startled. Xia Oxiao was really bold. Fortunately, her voice was quiet, so Tang Yun didn't hear. "What's the matter? Didn't you promise to treat me to a meal? I'm a little hungry now, and you came to see me." Xia Oxiao didn't continue to dwell on the topic with Lin Yi. Some things just needed to be reminded occasionally. If you kept mentioning them, they would be meaningless. Now, Lin Yi frowned slightly. "Well, I just arrived in Songshan City and haven't eaten yet," Xia Oxiao said. "You promised me to treat me to beef noodles, and I can choose the time." "Okay then." Lin Yi had no choice but to agree. Lin Yi was a man of his word. He had promised Xia Oxiao, so he had to keep it. Besides, Lin Yi felt a little indebted to Xia Oxiao. Although he didn't know what Xia Oxiao was doing, he did touch the girl's private parts after all. Even if only he and Xia Oxiao knew about this, if Xia Oxiao kept saying that Lin Yi was a hooligan, then Lin Yi would have no choice but to admit it. After all, Lin Yi was really a little bit possessed at the time, and he did it on purpose. Besides, Xia Oxiao also helped him a lot at the auction and got the Xuanyuan wooden box in his hands. "I'm driving to the school gate now, you can find me there," Xia Oxiao said. "Okay," Lin Yi nodded in agreement. After hanging up Xia Oxiao's call, Lin Yi pondered for a moment and said to Tang Yun, "I'll go out for a while." "Oh, okay," Tang Yun nodded. She wanted to ask what Lin Yi was doing, but it seemed that if she asked, it would seem like she was worried about Lin Yi and interfered with his private affairs. Tang Yun was so conflicted. But now, with the young lady as her rival, Tang Yun became cautious. "When we were in Yanjing, Xia Oxiao did me a big favor. I promised her I'd treat her to dinner. Now that she's back, she called me." Although Tang Yun didn't ask for details, Lin Yi explained the whole story to her. "Oh. Then of course you should treat her to dinner?" Tang Yun smiled and nodded. "It's okay. Go ahead. I'll just eat in the cafeteria." "Okay, if you need anything, feel free to call me," Lin Yi instructed Tang Yun, then stood up and left the cafeteria, heading towards the school gate. Lin Yi had mixed feelings about Xia Oxiao. To be honest, Lin Yi had originally thought of her as a spoiled rich kid, but after that incident at the beach, Lin Yi discovered that wasn't the case. Especially after learning that she was Xuanyuan Yulong's daughter, Lin Yi's feelings for her became even more complicated. To be honest, Lin Yi felt a little sympathetic towards Xia Oxiao. Growing up without a mother, with her father busy outside the home, had shaped her personality. In fact, after learning about Xia Oxiao's background, Lin Yi came to understand her and no longer harbored the same aversion he had previously. She was a cheerful girl with a passion for life, but only when you got close to her could you discern the loneliness and sadness within her, even in subtle details. Xia Oxiao was still driving her Audi TT. She parked next to Lin Yi and leaned out of the driver's seat. "Lin Yi, get in." Lin Yi said nothing, but walked over, opened the door, and took the passenger seat. "Hey, why are you looking so grumpy?" Xia Oxiao, seeing Lin Yi's silence, grew annoyed. Did you miss out on picking up girls? I was just about to eat in the cafeteria with Tang Yun, Lin Yi said. Sure enough, I missed out on picking up girls, but you can pick me up. Who's prettier, me or Tang Yun? Pengzhan blinked her eyes and turned to look at Lin Yi. Tang Yun, Lin Yi said. HMPH, Pengzhan's smile turned cold, and she glared at Lin Yi. Don't you know how to coax people? Can't you say something nice? Can't you even trick me? Okay, then you're beautiful, Lin Yi said. Boring, let's go get something. Pengzhan looked at Lin Yi's face, which was full of I lied to you, and suddenly lost interest. Why couldn't she seduce Lin Yi? Why was she so much worse than Tang Yun? Pengzhan started the car, but didn't go far. Instead, she parked in front of a nearby beef noodle restaurant. Lin Yi was stunned. He didn't expect Pengzhan to bring him to this place. The prices here were not high. When Pengzhan asked him to treat her to a meal, Lin Yi even thought she would rip him off like she did Wu Chenshin. Lin Yi and Pengzhan entered the noodle restaurant together and found a table for two. Can you two wait a moment? I'll take your order right away. The waiter was standing at a table not far away with a mother and daughter, taking their order. Okay, let's take a look at the menu first. Lin Yi nodded nonchalantly and casually picked up the menu from the table. Could I have a bowl of noodles? The mother of the pair asked the waiter with a somewhat embarrassed look at the menu in her hand. Chapter 980 Eat a bowl of noodles. Of course, the waiter nodded. He could tell the mother and daughter weren't living in good circumstances, as evidenced by their attire, out-of-season, hand-me-down clothes. Few people in the city wore such simple clothing these days. Zioxy, shall we just have one bowl? Mom can't eat that much, and this looks like a lot, the mother asked a bright-eyed, white-toothed girl, about 15 or 16, standing beside her. Chenzai knew her mother was reluctant to spend, but the doctor had said she was dying, and it was her wish to come here for beef noodles. Though frugal, Chenzai gritted her teeth and said, 2 bowls, please, you kid, wouldn't it be a waste? The mother interrupted, saying, 1 bowl, please. How much? Hello, 1 bowl of beef noodles, your total bill is 15 yuan. The waiter sympathized with the mother and daughter, but he was also a wage earner, his living conditions not much better than theirs, and he couldn't take the liberty of giving them a bowl of noodles. That would only lead to his boss deducting money from his salary. When her mother heard that a bowl of noodles cost 15 yuan, she looked distressed. Chenzai pulled a neatly stacked bill from her pocket, counted out 15 yuan, and handed it to the waiter. The waiter knew that this money must have been hard-earned for them, but there was nothing he could do. He could only look at them with sympathy and secretly ask the kitchen to make them more noodles. It was the only thing he could do. Zai, it's not easy for you to earn money, and you have to pay for my medical treatment. From now on, let's not spend it carelessly, Chenzai's mother whispered. How many noodles can you buy with 15 yuan? It's enough for the 2 of us to eat for many days. Mom, it's my birthday today. I agreed to make the decision. Chenzai interrupted her mother, smiled, and said, after today, I'll be 16. I'm an adult. I'll make a lot of money and take you out for a nice meal every day. Haha, sure. Mom's waiting for you, her mother sighed inwardly, unsure if she could make it. Seeing her daughter mature, she felt a little more at ease as she passed. This noodle shop was a long-standing fixture in the neighborhood. When Chenzai was little, whenever she and her mother passed by, they would gaze at the diners with envy. Her mother always told Chenzai that when she made enough money, she would bring her here for noodles. Suddenly, Chenzai had grown up, but her mother was diagnosed with cancer. This suddenly left Chenzai's already struggling family life, and her mother could no longer work. She had to rely on Chenzai to collect waste paper and soda bottles after school to make ends meet. Today was Chenzai's 16th birthday, but she wasn't happy at all. Just a few days earlier, during a follow-up checkup with her mother, the doctor told her that she only had a month or 2 left to live and asked her to prepare for her funeral. Chenzai was stunned. Although she had expected this day to come, she had never imagined it would arrive so soon. Mom, is she going to die? Chenzai was heartbroken and upset, but fearing her mother's suspicion, she had to feign happiness. Using the excuse of celebrating her birthday as an excuse, Chenzai took her mother to the noodle shop. To her mother, Chenzai was still being childish, but Chenzai knew that if she didn't bring her mother here for noodles now, she might never eat there again. So, Chenzai spent several nights returning home 2 hours later each day and taking a bus to the beach to pick up drink bottles. She finally saved up 30 yuan, just to have a bowl of beef noodles with her mother. She had already inquired about the price. 15 yuan a bowl was expensive for her, but she felt it was worth it. Lin Yi's gaze swept across Chen Zai and her daughter, finally resting on Chen Zai's mother. She was a haggard, slightly sickly woman. Although she had been tormented by illness, it was clear that she must have been very beautiful in her youth. However, from Lin Yi's perspective, she was probably dying. He didn't know the specific reason, and without further examination, he had no idea what ails her. The girl named Chen Zai was quite beautiful, perhaps reminiscent of her mother in her youth. Though only 16, she already possessed a youthful and beautiful appearance. Her clothes, though simple, were immaculately clean. This reminded Lin Yi of Tang Yunlei, and his heart trembled slightly. Lin Yi frowned. He wondered when he had become less aloof. Perhaps he had become a bit nosy. Had the environment here changed him? Lin Yi realized he had truly escaped those bloody days and had begun to blend in with the surroundings, even liking it. The waiter approached, and Lin Yi withdrew his gaze to look at Pengzhan Group, whose eyes had been fixed on the mother and daughter. It was clear she too was feeling a sense of emotion. "Hello, would you like to order now?" the waiter asked. "We'd like a bowl of beef noodles too," Pengzhan Group spoke before Lin Yi could say anything. She'd gotten the idea from the mother and daughter, and thought sharing a bowl of noodles with Lin Yi would help strengthen their relationship. "Oh, sure," the waiter was slightly taken aback, then nodded. Sharing a bowl of noodles between couples wasn't unusual, it just seemed like a coincidence to him that the mother and daughter had ordered one, and Pengzhan Group followed suit. "Just one bowl? You're not eating?" Lin Yi frowned, looking at Pengzhan Group and asking. "Eat?" Pengzhan Group nearly exploded at Lin Yi's words. "Are you treating me to noodles, okay? And you're actually asking me if I want to eat? If I don't, why would I ask you to treat me?" "Oh, 2 bowls then," Lin Yi said calmly to the waiter. "Okay, sir," the waiter chuckled. It seemed either Lin Yi was clueless or Pengzhan Group was being overly sentimental. These two weren't necessarily lovers. It was more likely the woman-chasing man situation. Pengzhan Group was a little annoyed. "I can't finish it. The noodles are so big here." "Then tell him to give you less," Lin Yi said. "Am I stupid?" Pengzhan Group was so angry that she stopped talking. She waved her hand at the waiter angrily, indicating that he could leave. The waiter shook his head, afraid of angering Pengzhan Group, and hurried to place the order. Chapter 981. Time is running out. A moment later, the mother and daughter's beef noodles arrived. The bowls were already overflowing, and the beef was incredibly generous. "Enjoy your meal, both of you." The waiter placed 2 pairs of chopsticks at Chen Zai and her daughter's table, then quietly retreated. "The noodles here are truly generous. No wonder they're so expensive." The mother looked at the bowl of beef noodles with some surprise. "This is more than enough for the 2 of us." "Yes," Chen Zai said, smiling wryly. Perhaps the waiter had specifically instructed the kitchen to make this for them? Even though there weren't many customers, Chen Zai had checked the portions of other people's noodles during his inspection. How could they be so much? This was almost half as much? And there were so many more pieces of beef, too. This bowl of noodles must have cost at least 15 yuan. Chen Zai glanced gratefully at the busy waiter, then handed the chopsticks to his mother. "Mom, shall we eat?" "Okay, go ahead, Zai. You go first," the mother said lovingly, looking at Chen Zai. "It's delicious." Chen Zai knew her mother wouldn't give any if she didn't eat, so she took a bite first and immediately pushed the noodles to her mother. It tasted really good, but the more she thought so, the more reluctant Chen Zai was to eat it. She wanted to leave it for her mother. When would she not be able to eat it herself? Life was still long, but Mom. No wonder there's so many people coming and going here every day. It turns out it's really delicious. Chen Zai's mother took a bite and nodded in satisfaction. Zai, you're growing up. Eat more to meat. Mom, you should eat too." Chen Zai was reluctant to eat. She picked up a small piece of beef and put it in her mouth, but instead pushed a large piece into her mother's mouth. "Look, the noodles here are really generous." Pengzhan Group pointed towards Chen Zai and her daughter and said to Lin Yi. "Are you really stupid or are you just pretending to be stupid?" Lin Yi asked back. Pengzhan Group almost jumped onto the table and stomped on Lin Yi. "Why are you so mean to me?" Chen Yushu always asked stupid questions. Why didn't you ask her if she was really stupid or just pretending to be stupid? Pengzhan Group, what on earth do you want to do? I always feel that something is wrong with you. Lin Yi looked at Pengzhan Group and said. What's wrong with me? I don't want to do anything. I've already said that I like you and want to pursue you, Pengzhan Group said. Lin Yi shook his head. If Pengzhan Group didn't tell the truth, then he naturally had no choice. Over there, Chenzai was still sharing the same bowl of noodles with her mother. Her mother's eyes were still full of love. She kept telling Chenzai to eat more. However, the more she did so, the more sad Chenzai felt. Tears flowed down her face uncontrollably. She was afraid that her mother would see her, so she quickly stood up and ran towards the bathroom, saying as she walked, I'm going to the bathroom. Mom, you eat first, huh? Why is she crying? Pengzhan Group paid attention to Chenzai's every move. Seeing her crying, she was suddenly confused. Her mother is dying, Lin Yi said lightly. What? Pengzhan Group was startled, nearly jumping up from her seat. You said her mother was dying? Is that true? Look at her mother's face. She's clearly lifeless. I'm afraid she doesn't have much time left, Lin Yi said. You knew her mother didn't have much time left just by looking at her. Pengzhan Group was a little incredulous. Bian looked at Duke Huan of K and turned away. That's the same principle, Lin Yi said. Sometimes, just a glance can tell how long a person has left, then how long can you expect me to live? Pengzhan Group's heart stirred. She remained calm on the surface, but inside she was extremely nervous. You? I didn't see any signs that you were dying. Lin Yi thought Pengzhan Group was joking and didn't take it seriously, just saying it casually. Oh, Pengzhan Group said, feeling disappointed when she saw that Lin Yi didn't take her seriously. At this time, the beef noodles ordered by Lin Yi and Pengzhan Group arrived, but they were completely different from Chenzai's bowl. 2 bowls here barely matched the amount of 1 bowl there. See? Is 1 bowl enough? Lin Yi smiled. That's enough. I don't eat much, Pengzhan Group said stubbornly. Who ate so much that they couldn't walk last time? Lin Yi couldn't help but think of the time when Pengzhan Group ate seafood in Yanjing. She was so full that she looked like a big crab and had to walk sideways. That's because I want to eat that Wu Tishao out of money, Pengzhan Group blushed and argued. As the two were talking, something happened to Chenzai over there. Chenzai was afraid that her mother would see her crying, so she wanted to go to the bathroom quickly. But when she stood up, she bumped into a customer who had just walked into the noodle shop behind her. The customer was lighting a cigarette with a lighter, but Chenzai turned around and knocked the lighter in his hand to the ground. Damn, girl, don't you have eyes? How do you walk? The man was furious when Chenzai knocked his lighter to the ground. I'm sorry, Chenzai was startled and quickly bent down to pick up the lighter. Here I am, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to, I'm sorry? Just say sorry. Do you know what brand my lighter is? A Zippo. I dropped the paint on it. Can you afford to pay for it? The man grinned and glared at Chenzai, shouting. Chenzai hadn't expected the disaster she'd caused by turning around. Although she didn't know whether the man's words were true or not, Chenzai felt guilty and couldn't help but lower her head. I'm sorry, stop talking nonsense and pay me. The man slammed the table, and with a loud bang, he knocked the beef noodles in front of Chenzai's mother to the ground, shattering them, spilling the soup and noodles all over the floor. Chenzai hadn't expected this man to be so unreasonable. She had apologized, but not only did he not accept it, he even spilled her beef noodles, which she had finally decided to buy for her mother. Thinking of this, Chenzai couldn't help but shed tears of grievance. I'm sorry, big brother, the child is ignorant. How much is the lighter? I'll compensate you. Chenzai's mother didn't expect this to happen. The mother and daughter who were originally happily eating noodles suffered such a misfortune. Huh? 5,000 yuan. The man snorted coldly and said, hurry up and give me the money, or I'll call the police and sue her for deliberately damaging other people's property. 5,000. Chenzai's mother was shocked and suddenly felt a little overwhelmed. 5,000 yuan is not a small amount for an ordinary family, but it can be taken out. However, for Chenzai and her daughter, it is an astronomical figure. Chapter 982 Pengzhan Group's idea. What do you think? This is Zippo, an international brand. Have you seen it on TV? They use this brand of lighters in movies, the man shouted, holding up his lighter. But, isn't this lighter broken? It doesn't cost 5,000 yuan, does it? Chen Zai's mother asked cautiously, her eyes filled with surprise. It's not broken? How can I use it if the paint is peeling? I'm a high-class person, mixed in the upper class. How can I use a lighter with peeling paint? The man snorted coldly and slammed the lighter on the table next to Chen Zai and her daughter, saying, if you can use it, I'll give it to you. Hurry and give me 5,000 yuan. Don't talk nonsense. At this time, there were not many diners in the restaurant, because when Lin Yi saw Pengzhan Group coming to the noodle shop again, it was already 1 o'clock in the afternoon, just after lunch. But even if there were customers, who would care about such trivial matters? The beef noodle waiter, though somewhat displeased with the man, felt deeply for Chen Zai and her daughter. However, he also knew that the dispute between the customers had nothing to do with the restaurant, and the best option at this moment was not to interfere. Pengzhan Group frowned, finding the man truly despicable. She already sympathized with Chen Zai. She had lost her mother since childhood, and now Chen Zai would soon lose hers. This gave Pengzhan Group a sense of shared destiny, and she couldn't help but feel a liking for Chen Zai. Seeing this man harassing Chen Zai and her daughter, she was immediately furious. Pengzhan Group stood up and, before the man could react, snatched the lighter from the table. Let me see what lighter is worth 5,000 yuan. Who are you? Mind your own business. The man, surprised by this sudden appearance, frowned. However, seeing Pengzhan Group's fashionable attire, he hesitated to provoke her. After all, he only picked on those who were easy to bully. As far as I know, although Zippo is an international brand, its prices range from high to low. The cheapest is only a few dozen yuan, and yours? Pengzhan Group picked up the man's lighter, took a look, and then said lightly, your lighter is ZIPPC, not Zippo. It's a knockoff. It's not even worth a few dozen yuan. It's just a few dollars worth of street vendor goods. You're talking nonsense. The man's face flushed at what Pengzhan Group said. He was immediately embarrassed and angry, and reached out to grab the lighter from Pengzhan Group's hand. But who is Pengzhan Group? She is the last of the 4 campus villains. She dared to set off firecrackers on Lin Yi's buttocks. How could she be afraid of the person in front of her? She lit the lighter casually, and as the man grabbed it, the lighter burned his hand and directly set his sleeve on fire. Ah! Holy crap! The man immediately started waving his hands and gesticulating wildly. After finally extinguishing the flames on his sleeves, his eyes were filled with rage. He had lost all reason and swung his hand towards Pengzhan Group. This moment also scared Pengzhan Group. But what she was thinking about was whether Lin Yi could come to save her. Lin Yi naturally would not watch Pengzhan Group being bullied. The next moment, the man's hand was tightly grasped by Lin Yi. Let me go. The man was suddenly a little timid after being grabbed by Lin Yi. The pain in his hand made him realize that Lin Yi was not someone to be trifled with. He was a guy who only bullied the weak and feared the strong. He had previously seen Chen Zai dressed in a tacky way and thought she was easy to bully, so he came up with the idea of blackmailing her. But at this moment, Lin Yi was obviously not someone to be trifled with, so he was a little scared. Do you know who I am? Brother Guang and I are very familiar with this area of the North City District. Don't meddle in other people's business. Who is Brother Guang? Lin Yi was stunned. Zurua Guang, Brother Guang. The man thought Lin Yi didn't know and added, he's the boss of the North City District. Zurua Guang, why does this name sound so familiar? Pengzhan Group suddenly interrupted. The moment Lin Yi made his move, Pengzhan Group felt a sweet feeling in her heart. Lin Yi still cared about her, he still cared about her. Although his attitude towards her was a little indifferent, he would not ignore her if something really happened to her. Oh, just an idiot, Lin Yi said, he has a stupid brother named Zuruiming. You know him? Oh, Zuruiming, I thought he knew someone powerful. Pengzhan Group was relieved when she heard it was Zuruiming's brother. The man was a little at a loss. He thought that if he mentioned a powerful thug, Lin Yi would compromise, but he didn't expect Lin Yi to know him. Who else do you know? If you don't know him, you can get out of here. Lin Yi let go of the man's hand, not taking him seriously at all. The man hesitated for a moment, then scurried out of the beef noodle shop in despair. He clearly felt he was no match for Lin Yi and decided to retreat. Thank you so much. Chen Zai's mother, convinced she'd be saddled with debt before her death, was in despair when someone unexpectedly intervened to help her and her daughter. Fortunately, these 2 experienced people saw through the man's deception and successfully scared him off. Otherwise, they wouldn't know what to do. Thank you, brother and sister, Chen Zai said solemnly, wiping away her tears. She politely bowed to Lin Yi and Feng Xiaoxiao. It's just a small favor, Feng Xiaoxiao said, just be more careful next time. Yes, Chen Zai nodded gratefully, but seeing the broken bowl of beef noodles on the ground, she couldn't help but feel a little distressed. She turned to her mother and said, Mom, can you order another bowl? No, I've already tasted it and I know what it tastes like. Don't waste your money. Chen Zai's mother naturally didn't want her daughter to spend any more money. My bowl is untouched. I just can't finish it. I'll give it to you. Feng Xiaoxiao rolled her eyes and handed the bowl of beef noodles on her table to Chen Zai and her daughter. How can this be? Chen Zai's mother was stunned and quickly declined. I want to share a bowl with him. Auntie, didn't you hear that just now? Feng Xiaoxiao leaned over and whispered in Chen Zai's mother's ear, just consider it as doing me a favor, okay? Chen Zai's mother had indeed heard Feng Xiaoxiao want to share a bowl of noodles with Lin Yi before, so when Feng Xiaoxiao said this, she didn't doubt it. But it was not right for her to agree now, and it was not right for her to refuse. If she agreed, she would be asking for something for nothing. If she didn't agree, she would be asking for a favor. Besides, she had just helped her a lot. How could she refuse? Before Chen Zai's mother could say anything, Feng Xiaoxiao had already turned around and returned to her seat. She said to Lin Yi happily, this time, the two of us can only have one bowl of noodles. Chapter 983 Gnashing of Teeth. Lin Yi suddenly felt at a loss whether to laugh or cry. Because of Feng Xiaoxiao's behavior, Lin Yi really couldn't judge whether he should support or oppose it. She deliberately wanted to eat a bowl of noodles with him, but her behavior at this moment was just right. He couldn't stop her from helping others, right? Lin Yi could only attribute all this to coincidence. Looking at Feng Xiaoxiao, who was sitting opposite him with a smile like a flower, Lin Yi waved to the waiter lightly. Waiter, please bring another bowl. Okay, sir. The waiter had just cleaned up the broken bowls on the ground, and when he heard Lin Yi's words, he nodded in response. Why do you want an empty bowl? Feng Xiaoxiao was stunned. I'll give you half of the beef noodles. Lin Yi took the empty bowl handed over by the waiter and began to use chopsticks to pick up the beef noodles in his bowl and put it into the empty bowl. Feng Xiaoxiao stared at Lin Yi, her eyes were full of moisture, and she almost cried. Just now, she had finally found an opportunity to eat noodles with Lin Yi and was almost overjoyed, but then, Lin Yi asked for another empty bowl. Lin Yi ignored her, gave her half of his bowl of beef noodles, and then lowered his head to eat first. Feng Xiaoxiao stuck her chopsticks in the bowl, as if she had a deep hatred for beef noodles. She ate with gritted teeth, stuffing the noodles into her mouth like a wolf devouring meat. Are you so hungry? Then order another bowl, Lin Yi asked with a smile as he looked at Feng Xiaoxiao. No, Feng Xiaoxiao shook her head, looking at Lin Yi with hatred and grievance, and said, I'm never eating with you again, you bully. Ugh. Lin Yi looked at Feng Xiaoxiao and suddenly felt uncomfortable. Feng Xiaoxiao's threats and pranks had seemed normal to Lin Yi, but now, Feng Xiaoxiao seemed to have suffered a great injustice, which made Lin Yi's heart ache. He wanted to say something, but instead sighed softly. Seeing that Lin Yi remained silent, Feng Xiaoxiao pouted and continued to eat noodles, gnashing her teeth as if the noodles were Lin Yi's tendons and the beef was Lin Yi's flesh. Lin Yi quickly finished the half bowl of noodles in front of him, and Feng Xiaoxiao had almost finished her meal. Are you full? Then let's go back to school, Lin Yi asked, seeing Feng Xiaoxiao put down her chopsticks. Let's go back, Feng Xiaoxiao said coldly, clearly still angry. Lin Yi smiled and ignored her. Feng Xiaoxiao was just like that, and she would be fine in a moment. The two were about to get up and leave when they heard an anxious cry from behind them. Mom, what's wrong with you? Why did you suddenly faint? Chen Zai and her mother were eating noodles. Although their mood was not as good as before, but rather heavy, they felt grateful to Feng Xiaoxiao and couldn't just leave without her kindness. That would be disrespectful. After all, Feng Xiaoxiao had good intentions. So, after the mother and daughter finished their bowl of noodles, they secretly gave Feng Xiaoxiao 15 yuan. Neither Chen Zai nor her mother were the type to take things for free. Although they were poor, Chen Zai earned her living collecting trash from the beaches and streets every day. While her earnings were small, they were still earned through hard work. However, before the mother and daughter could finish their beef noodles, Chen's mother fainted on the table, leaving Chen Zai bewildered. After all, although her mother was ill, she had never fainted before. Even when they went to the hospital, they went together. "Call the emergency number," the knowledgeable waiter quickly reminded. "Okay," Chen Zai nodded quickly, saying, "Can someone lend me a phone?" She didn't have a cell phone, and while it wasn't expensive, she couldn't afford the credit. "Use mine." Pengzhan, not caring about her anger with Lin Yi, took out her own phone and handed it to Chen Zai. Seeing the anxiety in Chen Zai's eyes, Pengzhan seemed to recall her own lonely and sad childhood, how lonely it must have been without her mother. "No need to fight. There's no point in sending her to the hospital. Don't waste money." Lin Yi glanced at Mother Chen and said calmly. Mother Chen's vitality was rapidly fading. It could be said that she was basically beyond saving. After hearing Lin Yi's words, Chen Zai's expression froze for a moment, and then tears began to flow. She hugged her mother and burst into tears. Although she had already turned 16 today, she was still a fragile girl. She had known for a long time that her mother would soon leave her, but she had never expected it to be so soon. When her mother fainted, she still had a glimmer of luck and hope in her heart, hoping that her mother would wake up after arriving at the hospital. However, Lin Yi's words were like a bucket of cold water, pouring down on her head, making Chen Zai suddenly despair. In an instant, she felt so helpless, not knowing what to do. The only way to vent her inner sorrow was to hug her mother and cry. "How can you be like this? How can you talk like that?" Lin Yi's words aroused the waiter's dissatisfaction. "Who do you think you are? You can decide someone's life or death with just one sentence." Lin Yi turned his head and glanced at the waiter indifferently. This man had a good heart and had never looked down on Chen Zai and her daughter from beginning to end, so Lin Yi would not vent his anger on him. His words now were just righteous indignation because he didn't understand the truth. How could Lin Yi care about him? Seeing Lin Yi turn around, the waiter was suddenly startled. Thinking of how Lin Yi had just driven away the man who was looking for trouble, he suddenly became a little scared. However, Lin Yi's words were indeed very unpleasant to the ear, so the waiter just took a step back and insisted, "Don't listen to him, rush to the hospital. I'll call the emergency number." Lin Yi, is she really hopeless? Pengzhan knew that Lin Yi was knowledgeable in medicine after Lin Yi rescued her last time, so she couldn't help but believe Lin Yi's words and asked. At this time, Lin Yi's hand was already on Chen's mother's wrist. He didn't explain much to the waiter, but just said to Pengzhan, "It's the late stage of liver cancer. What do you think is the point of sending him to the hospital?" This, Pengzhan's expression froze. Cancer is one of the terminal diseases of this century. Even people who don't know medicine, when they hear the word cancer, will basically conclude that this person has been sentenced to death. Lin Yi's words made Chen Zai a little stunned. His eyes widened and he stared at Lin Yi without blinking. Don't listen to his nonsense. He said that others have cancer as soon as he opened his mouth. How is that possible? Seeing that Lin Yi not only did not help to make a phone call, but also made conclusions without thinking, the waiter was immediately very angry. You just helped others, why are you like this again? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 984 Anything is fine. However, only Chen Zai knew at this moment that Lin Yi wasn't just talking nonsense. She was stunned because Lin Yi had immediately identified her mother's condition. And, surprisingly, he'd pinpointed the cause, advanced liver cancer. She'd taken her mother to both Chinese and Western medicine doctors before, and had seen pulse diagnosis, but she'd never seen anyone pinpoint the exact condition in just a few seconds like Lin Yi did. Instantly, Chen Zai understood that this older brother who had helped her must be a miracle doctor. If he could tell her mother's condition, could he save her? You can save my mother, right? If you can tell me what's wrong with her, there must be a way. Chen Zai, disregarding the strict rules of intimacy, came over, grabbed Lin Yi's hand, and urgently said, "Please, save my mother, no matter the cost." Lin Yi's heart trembled. Before, he'd been unmoved by joys and sorrows, but now, had he changed? Chen Zai's words left the waiter a bit stunned. He didn't expect that Lin Yi actually predicted Chen's mother's illness, and it seemed that Lin Yi was really a doctor. So what he said before was true. Thinking of this, the waiter suddenly felt ashamed. It was all because of his impatience that he scolded Lin Yi without knowing the truth. Lin Yi, do you have any solution? Feng Xiaoxiao knew how painful it would be to lose her mother. When she saw Chen Zai, she thought of herself, so if there was a way, she would not give up. If it was just discovered, it would be okay. Lin Yi hesitated for a moment, and said, but now, it's a bit troublesome. Chen Zai was a little disappointed when she heard the first half of Lin Yi's words. However, the second half of Lin Yi's words made her eyes light up. Because Lin Yi was talking about trouble, not no way. Trouble means that although it is difficult, there is still a way. At this thought, Chen Zai instinctively knelt before Lin Yi. Brother doctor, please save my mother. I'll give you any amount of money, Feng Xiaoxiao had asked with a tried attitude, but she hadn't expected Lin Yi to give her a positive answer. Feng Xiaoxiao knew Lin Yi well. He either wouldn't agree, or if he did, he would do his best to help. So, Feng Xiaoxiao breathed a sigh of relief. If Lin Yi said there was a way, then there must be a way. Feng Xiaoxiao felt relieved at the thought and couldn't help but joke with Chen Zai, if he saves your mother, how about you be his mistress, huh? Chen Zai was startled, her pretty face flushing. She knew what being a mistress meant and what it would entail. It was almost like selling herself. When Chen Zai was desperate and broke, she had considered selling herself to pay for her mother's medical treatment. But she wasn't stupid and knew her mother's illness was incurable. The doctor had made it clear, no matter how much money was spent, it was all about delaying her death. A cure was impossible. Chen Zai understood that even if she sold her body to pay for her mother's medical treatment, it would only last temporarily. If her mother knew what she had done, she might become so angry that she might even die. Liver cancer shouldn't be treated with anger, that would be even more disastrous than the gain. But now, Lin Yi had given her hope. From Lin Yi's tone, Chen Zai could tell he had a solution. She was so convinced because he had immediately revealed her mother's condition. He was the only doctor she had taken her mother to see who had been so quick to explain. So, while Chen Zai felt Feng Xiaoxiao's request was a bit excessive, she didn't have time to think about it. Impulsively, she nodded and said, okay, as long as he can truly cure my mother's illness, I'll do anything. Chen Zai still couldn't bring herself to say the words lover because, for her pure and innocent self, those words were too difficult to utter. But Chen Zai wasn't stupid. While she believed in Lin Yi, she couldn't expect anything to happen between them until he cured her mother's illness. One is that he is not on the mood at all, and the other is that he is afraid that Lin Yi will deceive him. Although Lin Yi does not seem like a liar, one should still be on guard against others. If he can really cure her mother's illness, then Chen Zai will really be willing to do it without regrets. Today is her birthday, she is an adult, and she can make a decision for herself. Listening to the question and answer between Feng Xiaoxiao and Chen Zai, Lin Yi couldn't help but feel a little amused. He knew that Feng Xiaoxiao was just joking, but Chen Zai obviously took it seriously. Although the waiter in the hotel also felt that Lin Yi and Feng Xiaoxiao were taking advantage of others, he even felt that Feng Xiaoxiao was a girl with a problem. She obviously likes Lin Yi, and he hasn't caught up with her yet, but he is helping others to be a matchmaker. Isn't that crazy? However, this is someone else's family business. What does it have to do with him, a waiter? He can only do his duty well. How? Lin Yi smiled, she was just joking with you. You're too young and haven't fully developed yet. What kind of lover do I need you for? Although Lin Yi's words were a bit discouraging, he actually said this to make Chen Zai completely give up the idea. Although Lin Yi thought that Chen Zai was a beautiful and cute girl, he didn't want her to be his lover. Isn't it chaotic enough to have Feng Xiaoxiao now? If he had another lover, not to mention whether Tang Yun would have any objections, the eldest lady would probably be furious when she knew about it. Who said I haven't fully developed? Chen Zai's face flushed red after hearing what Lin Yi said. She has always been very confident in her appearance. Even if her figure is not particularly outstanding, it is considered well developed at this age. However, Lin Yi despised her because she was young and had no development. Moreover, Chen Zai naturally misunderstood that Lin Yi despised her and didn't want to help. Chen Zai, desperate to save her mother, forgot her shyness. She puffed out her chest in front of Lin Yi and said, how am I small? Even if I haven't fully grown yet, I will continue to grow in the future. Lin Yi was stunned by Chen Zai's behavior, then shook his head. You're too young? I just turned 16 today, I'm an adult. Besides, I can still grow up, Chen Zai said anxiously. By the time you grow up, your mother will be dead." Lin Yi smiled. Ah, Chen Zai heard Lin Yi's words and suddenly felt a little desperate. She looked at Lin Yi pitifully, not knowing what to say. Chapter 985, Brother the Miraculous Doctor. "Okay, you don't have to do anything," Lin Yi shrugged. "Let me go first. I'll check on your mother." "Oh, okay." Chen Zai realized she was still holding Lin Yi's hand. It was the first time she had held the hand of someone of the opposite sex her own age, and her face flushed. Remembering what she had said before, she felt even more embarrassed. What did he mean by "you don't have to do anything"? Was he saying he didn't want her to be his lover, or was he signaling that he was going to save her mother and didn't want her to get involved? Chen Zai didn't know, but Lin Yi was already busy. Lin Yi pulled out a silver needle box from his pocket, took out silver needles, and quickly inserted several needles into Chen's mother's body. "Aren't you going to disinfect them?" Although Chen Zai trusted Lin Yi, she also knew that if the silver needles weren't disinfected, they could be contaminated with bacteria. "It's already been disinfected," Lin Yi said calmly, but he didn't explain how. When Lin Yi used the silver needles without alcohol or other disinfectants, he would use his own key to disinfect them. The instantaneous heat generated by the key was enough to kill any bacteria. Oh, Chen Zai thought Lin Yi had disinfected the silver needles before bringing them with him, so he didn't ask any further questions. Lin Yi couldn't repair cancer with energy. If it was in the early stages of cancer, as long as he performed a large liver resection while ensuring the cancer cells didn't spread, Lin Yi could use energy to repair the damaged liver and achieve a cure. But now, the cancer had already spread, and Lin Yi couldn't use that method anymore. He could only resort to the second, more difficult method. He used silver needles to seal several major acupuncture points on Mother Chen's body to prevent the cancer cells from spreading. Then, Lin Yi would use the energy in his body to restore Mother Chen's vitality, and then use traditional Chinese medicine to completely eliminate the cancer cells. There were many precedents of traditional Chinese medicine curing cancer in the world. While it was rare, it wasn't impossible. Lin Yi was well versed in traditional Chinese medicine and pharmacology, so curing Mother Chen's illness was completely possible. It was just a more complicated process, requiring different medications based on the effectiveness of each course of treatment to ultimately achieve a cure. The length of this process varies from person to person. It could be quick or it could take years. But with Lin Yi's energy, he could continuously restore Mother Chen's vitality, devoured by the cancer cells, until she was completely healed. However, Lin Yi would have to visit Mother Chen periodically. This was an ongoing process, not as convenient as a one-time cure at the beginning. Lin Yi activated the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue, dragon taming technique, and began to infuse Mother Chen with energy. Chen Zai, Feng Xiao, and the beef noodle server all held their breath, watching Lin Yi. They weren't sure what the silver needles would do, but seeing Lin Yi's expert technique, they all trusted him. What's wrong with me?" Mother Chen woke up. She touched her forehead, groggily waking up. She opened her eyes wearily and looked around. Seeing everyone around her and her daughter's face tearing up, she was startled. "Xiaoxi, what's this? Mom, you're awake." Chen Zai didn't expect her mother to actually wake up again. She had been truly afraid that her mother would never wake up again after this coma. However, Lin Yi really made his mother wake up. While she was happy, she was also secretly grateful to Lin Yi. She also made up her mind that no matter what Lin Yi asked her to do, she would agree. "Zai, I seemed a little sleepy just now. Did I fall asleep?" Mother Chen lowered her head and suddenly found that there were silver needles stuck in her body. She was shocked. "This is, Mom, you just fainted. Thanks to this miracle doctor brother for saving you." Chen Zai looked at Lin Yi and said to her mother. However, when her eyes fell on Lin Yi, her face turned red again. "Did I faint?" Mother Chen was stunned, and then hurriedly thanked Lin Yi. Thank you so much. I didn't expect to trouble you again." "Nothing." Lin Yi shook his head and put away the silver needle. "I just stabilized the cancer cells in your body temporarily, but it doesn't mean that I cured you. Where is your home? Let's talk while we walk." There were outsiders in the beef noodle restaurant. Lin Yi didn't want the news that he could cure cancer to spread. Otherwise, I'm afraid that he would not have to do anything in the future, and everyone would come to him for treatment. No matter how powerful Lin Yi was, he was only one person, and he was using the Xuanyuan Yulong Jue to perform the treatment. This wasn't replicable or scalable. Lin Yi didn't want to disrupt the current medical landscape, because he alone was powerless. Before Mother Chen could say anything, the clever Chen Zai probably understood Lin Yi's intentions. First, he wanted to keep it secret, and second, was he going to her house to get acquainted with her? Was he afraid that if he cured her, she wouldn't give him the gift? Brother Divine Doctor, please follow me. Chen Zai nodded, helped her mother up, and walked towards the door without hesitation. Mother Chen wanted her daughter not to casually reveal her home address to strangers, but she thought that it had been so many years since the incident, and that woman wouldn't have stumbled upon this place by chance, let alone know Lin Yi. So she said nothing. Lin Yi and Pengzhan Group followed suit, but the waiter watching from behind shook his head, assuming Lin Yi was already eager to claim Chen Zai's body and seal the deal. Brother Divine Doctor, my home is this way. Chen Zai gestured to the right as he left the door. Get in the car. We drove here. Lin Yi pointed at Pengzhan Group's Audi TT. Although the TT was a sports car, it had the same rear space as the Beetle. While it was a bit awkward to sit in, it was perfectly adequate for a short break. Mother Chen hesitated when she saw them getting in the car. She didn't know Lin Yi and Pengzhan Group's identities. Although Lin Yi had revived her, she was still wary of strangers. However, Chen Zai nodded without question and pulled her mother into the car. She had witnessed a miracle firsthand. Lin Yi had used his superb medical skills to revive her mother, so she had complete trust in him. Seeing her daughter's persistence, and the fact that the two young men had helped her family twice, Mother Chen felt embarrassed to say anything in front of them. After a moment's hesitation, Mother Chen followed Chen Zai into the car. She reasoned that in broad daylight, Lin Yi and Pengzhan Group wouldn't have any ill intentions. Chapter 986 I Will Not Regret. They had come out of the beef noodle shop with her, and the waiters and many other customers had seen them. Pengzhan Group's car was also parked outside the restaurant, which had 24-hour surveillance footage. If anything happened to her and her daughter, the police would easily be able to find them. Thinking of this, Mother Chen felt more at ease, feeling that Lin Yi and Pengzhan Group couldn't be bad people. Although they had helped her twice, it couldn't have been premeditated. Even if the man who had previously caused trouble was someone they had recruited to target her and her daughter, how could they have known she would faint later? Once in the car, Lin Yi's words dispelled Mother Chen's suspicions. There's a pharmacy up ahead. Zia Oxio, stop for a moment. I'll get some medicine, Lin Yi said to Pengzhan Oxio. Okay, Pengzhan Oxio was also very excited about being able to cure Chen Zai's mother, so when Lin Yi said this, she agreed without even thinking, driving the car to the pharmacy and parking. I'll go get some medicine with you, Chen Zai said quickly when she saw Lin Yi get out of the car. How could she let Lin Yi pay for the medicine? She was already grateful for his help in treating her mother's illness, so Chen Zai planned to pay for the medicine herself. No, you don't have enough money, Lin Yi said calmly. If you want to pay me back, I'll pay you back later. Since Lin Yi had decided to help, he would naturally help her to the end. Chen Zai didn't have enough money now, but if she insisted on paying him back later, Lin Yi wouldn't refuse. However, Lin Yi's words had caused Chen Zai to misunderstand. She thought Lin Yi wanted her to repay him in some other way. Her face flushed again, and she didn't insist on getting out of the car. Instead, she said firmly, okay, I'll pay you back slowly. Huh? Lin Yi had no idea Chen Zai would be so confused. Without giving it a second thought, he got out of the car. He didn't let Chen Zai get out with him. Firstly, because Chen Zai didn't have enough money, it would be useless for her to get out. Secondly, Lin Yi didn't want the prescription to be leaked. He couldn't trust a stranger like Chen Zai enough. Although the prescription will be modified according to each person's differences, if Lin Yi's prescription falls into the hands of a medical expert, it will probably be a valuable treasure. Lin Yi does not have the habit of giving benefits to others for free. When Lin Yi entered the pharmacy, he did not need to write down the prescription. He directly dictated the purchase of some medicinal materials, and then borrowed the equipment of the pharmacy to grind all the medicinal materials into powder, and divided them into several small packages for packaging. The reason for choosing this small private pharmacy is that the owner and the waiter are the same person. They do not keep accounts for the sale of medicines, but directly weigh them out to Lin Yi. Such private pharmacies usually manually check the inventory every once in a while and then restock them. There is no supply and marketing software. Lin Yi quickly left the pharmacy and returned to the car. He handed Chen Zai a package of Chinese medicine and said, take one packet each morning, noon, and night with boiled water. For the first few days, You'll experience severe diarrhea, but the symptoms will gradually subside. Your stool will initially be black and smelly, but the color will gradually fade back to normal. Once it's completely normal, you can stop taking the medicine and contact me immediately for the next course of treatment. There are plenty of packets. Lin Yi quickly explained the dosage and possible symptoms to Chen Zai and her mother. Okay, Chen Zai meticulously wrote down every word Lin Yi said, afraid to miss anything. After understanding, she quickly nodded and said, I've got it. Where's your home? I'll take you back. I have things to do, Lin Yi said, without further ado. It's up ahead, in that neighborhood, Chen Zai said, pointing to a shabby-looking neighborhood not far away. Pengzhan steered the car into the residential complex. This was likely a residential compound for employees of a company or organization. The buildings varied in height, age, and size, evidently dating from different construction periods. This situation was completely different from a residential complex built with a unified plan. Which building? Pengzhan asked. The one in front, Chen Zai pointed to the most dilapidated-looking red brick building not far away. Right there, Unit 3, Room 402, we're not going up. Wait until the symptoms I mentioned disappear, or if your mother faints again, and call me. Lin Yi, showing no sign of wanting to visit, casually gave Chen Zai a phone number. Okay, thank you, brother doctor. Chen Zai quickly wrote down Lin Yi's number. She felt a strange sense of relief. Lin Yi hadn't made any unreasonable demands on her. It seemed he was waiting to completely cure her mother before taking her in. But then, wouldn't he be afraid that she would regret it later and stop treating her with all her heart? Thinking of this, Chen Zai waited for her mother to get out of the car, then leaned over and whispered to Lin Yi, who was about to get in, I won't go back on my previous offer. Huh? Lin Yi was stunned, finally understanding what Chen Zai was talking about. Just as he was about to explain, Chen Zai had already straightened up and stood with her mother. Lin Yi didn't know what to say, so he just shook his head. Thank you, sir. Mother Chen looked at Lin Yi with deep gratitude. She had 1,000 words in her heart, but for a moment, her voice was choked with tears, unable to express them. After she fell ill, she visited many hospitals, and most of the doctors told her frankly that given her financial situation, she shouldn't treat her. Even if she did, treatment would be very expensive. But Lin Yi treated her for free and even said he could cure her. This surprised Mother Chen, but also filled her with deep regret. She had been wary of him before, fearing he had ulterior motives, but now he came here and didn't even go upstairs to sit down. What else could he be up to? Lin Yi glanced at Mother Chen but said nothing. He simply said to Pengzhan, drive. Oh, sure. Pengzhan was surprised that Lin Yi had helped Chen Zai and her daughter, yet his attitude remained indifferent. She couldn't help but feel a little bored. Lin Yi wasn't one to meddle in other people's affairs. Even though he had saved Chen Zai and her daughter this time, it was because of Pengzhan. Although Lin Yi's heart had changed somewhat, he wouldn't just help anyone he saw. If that happened, Lin Yi wouldn't have to do anything else all day and could just sit on a small stool outside the hospital and provide free medical consultations. Chapter 987 What miracle, doctor? They're saying thank you, why don't you even listen? You've done a good deed for nothing, Pengzhan couldn't help but ask. They had nothing to do with me in the first place. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have helped them, Lin Yi said calmly. Ah. So you're just going to sit back and do nothing? Pengzhan was stunned after hearing Lin Yi's words. Do you still have any kindness? It's not that I'm just sitting back and doing nothing, it's that I can't handle it, Lin Yi shrugged. Could Huatuo have prevented an entire generation from getting sick? I have my own things to do, and I take care of everything. I don't need to do anything else. However, there was one thing Lin Yi kept in his heart, but he didn't say it out loud. What is kindness? Can assassins and mercenaries have kindness? In many cases, their employers are different, and the perspectives on the issue are also different. When two forces are at odds, it's difficult to say who is right and who is wrong. Just like in the North African battlefield, many of Lin Yi and his opponents were working for their employers. How could they tell who was right and who was wrong? How could there be any kindness there? To be kind to the enemy is to be cruel to oneself. However, after returning to the bustling city, Lin Yi didn't want to admit it, but he had to admit that he had really changed. His sense of good and evil had become more obvious, and he was becoming more and more like an ordinary person. Lin Yi didn't know whether this was good or bad. In short, what happened today might just be the beginning. Although Lin Yi said he didn't care, Lin Yi had already decided in his heart to take care of it to the end. Sometimes it's really hard to explain the change in mentality. Oh, Pengzhan was a little disappointed after hearing what Lin Yi said, but she was also secretly happy. Lin Yi took action for her today? Did she occupy a certain position in his mind? Did her efforts pay off? Was this a sign that Lin Yi was falling in love with her? I'm helping you today. We owe each other nothing. I hope you won't threaten me with a photo in the future. Pengzhan's joy didn't last long before Lin Yi poured a bucket of cold water on her, making Pengzhan's secret joy disappear in an instant. If you're not threatening, then don't threaten. What's the big deal? Pengzhan snorted, unhappily saying, aren't you just afraid I'll show it to Tang Yun? I won't show it to her. Mother Chen was a little stunned as she watched Lin Yi and Pengzhan's car quickly drive away. She could tell that although Lin Yi had helped her, his attitude was somewhat indifferent. This puzzled her. Lin Yi was clearly doing a good deed, but why didn't he have the attitude to do good deeds at all? Chen Zai shook her head, temporarily shaking off those unrealistic thoughts. Then, with a smile on her face, she said to her mother, Mom, we've met a good person, a miracle doctor. He said he can cure you. You can finally recover, haha, I hope so. Mother Chen didn't expect her illness to be cured. She was older and had more experience than Chen Zai, so she naturally knew the severity of her illness. Not to mention ordinary doctors, even the private doctors in that man's family would probably be powerless against cancer, right? And she and her daughter, just by chance, could have cured their cancer. Putting aside their luck, the person's medical skills were incredible, right? Could such a person be found so easily? Mother Chen knew she wasn't going to live long, and seeing her daughter so happy, she decided to give it a try. If the medicine couldn't cure her, she'd probably die anyway. She was going to die anyway, so why not give it a try? It could give her daughter hope and make her feel a little happier. Chen Zai happily took her mother's hand and went upstairs, only to run into Grandpa Zhu, a ragbooker from next door. Grandpa Zhu, are you going to the beach tonight? Chen Zai smiled and greeted Grandpa Zhu. Grandpa Zhu was an elderly widower who lived next door to Chen Zai and her daughter. He made a living by collecting waste during the day, and at night, he would go to busy areas like the beach to collect beverage bottles and paper waste. Ever since Chen Zai's mother fell ill, Grandpa Zhu had taken Chen Zai out to scavenge. He didn't take anything he found, considering it a favor to Chen Zai. Chen Zai was deeply grateful and had offered to give Grandpa Zhu half of the money he earned from selling the scrap he found. However, Grandpa Zhu said he lived alone and the money he earned from collecting scrap was enough to cover his daily expenses. He said any extra money would be useless, as Chen Zai's mother's medical care was more important. Grandpa Zhu even took out all his savings and gave it to Chen Zai so she could take her mother to see a doctor. Chen Zai and Grandpa Zhu were old neighbors. Grandpa Zhu had moved in next door more than 6 months ago, just over 10 years after Chen Zai's mother moved in. They had lived together for over a decade, and Grandpa Zhu had taken good care of them. Come on, Xiaoxi, come find me after school. We'll go together. Grandpa Zhu smiled kindly, his face wrinkled, and his eyes, filled with love, looked at Chen Zai. Okay, Chen Zai nodded. She was so happy today. Her mother's illness was finally cured. However, even though her mother's illness was curable, she still had to go to the beach to collect soda bottles, because her mother's recovery would take a long time, and she still had to bear the cost of living for the family. Huh? Xiao Chen, you look good today. Grandpa Zhu glanced at Mom Chen, stunned for a moment, then smiled. Haha, really? Mom Chen hadn't expected her complexion to change. Grandpa Zhu, Mom's illness will be cured soon, Chen Zai said happily. What? Cured? Grandpa Zhu's face changed slightly, then he said without a trace, cancer can be cured? Xiao Zai, don't be fooled by some quack doctors. These people are so unreliable. They say they can cure things, but they're just trying to get you out of money. He doesn't want money. Chen Zai thought of Lin Yi, and her heart warmed. My mom and I met a miracle doctor today. He treated Mom for free. Miracle doctor? Grandpa Zhu frowned. What miracle doctor? Haha, he's not a scam, anyway. Don't worry, Grandpa Zhu. Go ahead and do your work. I'll talk to you tonight, Chen Zai said with a smile. Okay, then I'll go collect the scrap first. We haven't opened yet. Grandpa Zhu nodded and said, "Talk to me tonight. Don't let anyone cheat you." "Yeah, okay." Chen Zai also wanted to share her happiness with Grandpa Zhu. Grandpa Zhu nodded and went downstairs. However, when he reached the landing between the two floors, he turned around and glanced at Chen Zai and Mother Chen from behind. He frowned, and a cold glint flashed in his eyes. "Miracle doctor? What kind of miracle doctor? Can he actually cure cancer?" Chapter 988 My dad wants to see you again. By the way, Lin Yi, my dad is coming back to Songshan City with me. Feng Xiaoxiao was a little hesitant to speak. In the past, she had used the excuse that her dad wanted to see Lin Yi, and it had come naturally back then. But now that her dad really wanted to see Lin Yi, she felt a little uneasy. "He's not going to look for me again, is he?" Lin Yi remembered Feng Xianlong's request to see him. Before, Lin Yi had never suspected Feng Xiaoxiao was lying. After all, Lin Yi knew Feng Xianlong. In Lin Yi's opinion, if Feng Xianlong knew about his relationship with his daughter, he would definitely come to talk to him, not to mention that he knew him before. However, the last time Lin Yi heard Feng Xiaoxiao say that Feng Xianlong had something to do at work, Lin Yi didn't wait any longer. He knew the nature of Feng Xianlong's work very well. He could be gone for a day, 10 days, half a month, or even a year and a half. How could Lin Yi have the time to wait any longer? Besides, something had happened to the eldest daughter. "Yes, I'm looking for you again," Feng Xiaoxiao nodded, but seeing that Lin Yi didn't seem to have any particular expression, she was immediately puzzled. "Hey, why aren't you scared at all? My dad knows about our relationship." "Oh," Lin Yi replied calmly. "What's our relationship, anyway?" "I showed him the photos." "What do you think he thinks our relationship is?" Feng Xiaoxiao asked. "How?" Lin Yi simply smiled and said nothing more. He believed that Feng Xianlong knew Feng Xiaoxiao's personality, so some things could be explained away with just Lin Yi's explanation. After all, he had worked with Feng Xianlong before, and Feng Xianlong knew her well. If there really was something going on between him and Feng Xiaoxiao, he wouldn't deny it. "Can't you just be nervous for a bit?" Feng Xiaoxiao suddenly felt defeated. Most boyfriends would be nervous when meeting the girl's parents for the first time, but Lin Yi didn't take it seriously at all. Clearly, he didn't take her seriously either. Feng Xiaoxiao was immediately frustrated. She waved her fist. The relationship hadn't been successful yet, so she still needed to work hard. She just didn't believe it. With her beauty, Lin Yi wouldn't take the bait? Humph, no matter how cunning the fox is, it can't escape the hunter who is stalking it 24 hours a day. "When will we meet?" Lin Yi asked. "I don't know. If you agree, I'll call my dad and he'll contact you," Feng Xiaoxiao said. "Okay, then ask him to set a time and I'll come to visit." Lin Yi nodded. Feng Xiaoxiao's return did not cause any big waves. It was normal for people to come and go in the class in the third year of high school. Some boarding students returned to their original schools, some repeaters came here to review, and some students who had no hope of passing the college entrance examination had already found their own way out. There were also some dandy boys who didn't need to worry about their future at all. They still skipped classes every day and lived a carefree life. Zhu Ruiming was one of them. After Lin Yi and Feng Xiaoxiao returned to school, they separated to look for Tang Yun. Feng Xiaoxiao had wanted to talk to Lin Yi for a few more words, but she couldn't help but feel a little depressed. She sat alone in the classroom, bored and reading a book. She didn't know if she could make it to college, so she didn't have much interest in studying. Even if she couldn't get into college, with her father Feng Xianlong's connections, she wouldn't have any problem going there. "Sister Xiaoxiao, you're back? Why did you disappear a while ago?" Zhong Pinliang asked when he saw Feng Xiaoxiao return and sat down next to her in Lin Yi's seat. "Oh, I went out for a while." Feng Xiaoxiao glanced at Zhong Pinliang and said, "By the way, have you dealt with Lin Yi while I was away?" "Deal with Lin Yi?" Zhong Pinliang's face changed suddenly, and then he said, "Sister Xiaoxiao, actually, I came here to persuade you to give up. Let's not target Lin Yi." The death of one and the idiot of the Yu family and the Xiao family completely touched Zhong Pinliang's nerves. Before he had enough strength, he would never have any ideas about Lin Yi again. As for Feng Xiaoxiao, who had stood on the same front with him, he naturally didn't want Feng Xiaoxiao to provoke Lin Yi again. What if Feng Xiaoxiao provoked Lin Yi, and Lin Yi thought that he, Zhong Pinliang, and Feng Xiaoxiao were in the same group? Then he would be in trouble. So in order to avoid being implicated, he decided to persuade Pengzhan not to target Lin Yi again. Anyway, Zhong Pinliang also felt that with Pengzhan's strength, it was impossible for her to do anything to Lin Yi. Oh, Pengzhan was stunned. What's wrong? Didn't you hate him with a vengeance before? Oh, forget it. Zhong Pinliang shook his head. Sister Xiaoxio, I'm telling you this because we used to have a good relationship. Did you know? The Yu and Xiao families in Yanjing have both been causing trouble for Lin Yi. These two families are aristocratic families. Have you heard of them, the Yu family? The Xiao family? How could Pengzhan not have heard of them? She had attended the Yu family's auction before, and later dined at the same table with Lin Yi and the Xiao family members. Pengzhan naturally knew about these two aristocratic families. Did they cause trouble for Lin Yi? Yes, they're all Zhuan-level masters from aristocratic families. They went after Lin Yi, and guess what happened? Zhong Pinliang felt a little depressed at this point. The gap between his strength and Lin Yi's was too great. Fortunately, he hadn't done anything to overly push Lin Yi before, otherwise he wouldn't have seen the day when Zhang Neipao came down the mountain. How did it go? Pengzhan's heart tightened for no reason, which made her slightly surprised. Why was she so worried about Lin Yi? Didn't he want revenge on him the most? Now that two powerful forces helped him to take revenge on Lin Yi, how could he not be happy? No, it was him who was offended by Lin Yi. If he wanted revenge, he had to do it himself, not others. Pengzhan gave herself a reason. One of the Yu family died, and the people of the Xiao family became vegetables. Zhong Pinliang sighed. Sister Xiaoxio, we are not opponents, so let's not act rashly. Lin Yi killed one of the Yu family, and the Xiao family became an idiot? Then he himself is fine. Pengzhan widened her eyes after hearing this, looking at Zhong Pinliang in disbelief. Feng Xianlong knew all this news, but did not tell Pengzhan. In Feng Xianlong's opinion, Lin Yi was a powerful person. Those aristocratic families had indeed become a little unscrupulous in recent years. Although they were outside the rules of the secular world, you can't go too far, right? Now someone is giving them a warning. I guess some people in the upper echelons will be very happy to see it and will be happy to see it. Chapter 989. What are you looking at? But Pengzhan didn't know. She knew the significance of the Yu and Xiao families. They were both immensely powerful forces. How had Lin Yi provoked them? And how could Lin Yi have managed to leave one dead and one injured? No. The Yu and Xiao families have both gone quiet. They've gone silent. Perhaps they've been frightened. Zhong Pinliang's information was limited. While he knew those forces were immense, he didn't know why the Yu and Xiao families had gone silent after suffering such a loss. Oh, Pengzhan nodded. She decided to ask her father about this when she got home that night to see if he knew anything about it. So, Xiaoxio, let's not provoke Lin Yi. I'm doing this for your own good, Zhong Pinliang said. Okay, I get it. I won't provoke him. Pengzhan, however, internally, was unconvinced. If she provoked him, what could he do to kill her? Wasn't he helpless? And he was supposed to protect her when she was in danger? Humph, it seems Lin Yi doesn't consider him an enemy. His efforts were indeed effective. Okay, then just make a note of it yourself. Zhong Pinliang saw that Pengzhan was a little distracted, so he didn't say anything more. After all, he had already warned her and had distanced himself from her. If Lin Yi really took his anger out on him, he would have something to say. After all, Zhong Pinliang had secretly recorded the conversation on his phone, which would prove his innocence. It must be said that Zhong Pinliang is getting smarter and more insidious now. Lin Yi sent a text message to Tang Yun, agreeing to meet under the shade of a tree in the school playground. Lin Yi quietly waited for Tang Yun on the playground. Before Tang Yun arrived, Lin Yi's phone rang. Hello, it was an unfamiliar number, but Lin Yi had a rough idea of who was calling. It could only be Pengzhan's father. Hello, is this Lin Yi? This is Feng Xianlong. Lin Yi's guess was correct. It was indeed Feng Xianlong calling. Uncle Feng, hello. Lin Yi was unsure how to address Feng Xianlong, as an equal or as a junior. In the past, when the team was on a mission, Feng Xianlong was the captain and Lin Yi was the vice captain, and the two had a dialogue relationship of equals. But now, thinking of Pengzhan, Lin Yi still considered himself the junior. Feng Xianlong was no fool. Seeing Lin Yi's hesitation, he understood Lin Yi's thoughts and couldn't help but smile. You and my daughter are classmates, so calling me uncle won't be a disadvantage, right? Haha, of course not, Lin Yi smiled. I wonder what Uncle Feng wants to talk to me about. Yes, I do. I wonder if you have time, Lin Yi. Feng Xianlong said this and then joked, so your name is Lin Yi? I'm not used to it. I used to call you Eagle, business or personal. Lin Yi was slightly surprised. Feng Xianlong brought up the past, making Lin Yi a little confused about what Feng Xianlong wanted to talk to him about. Private matters, Feng Xianlong said confidently. If it's official business, I'm afraid it wasn't me who contacted you, but Director Xia who came to you personally. Is it about Feng Xiaoxiao? Lin Yi couldn't help but smile wryly. It seemed Feng Xianlong had really contacted him about Feng Xiaoxiao. He didn't really think he and Feng Xiaoxiao had that kind of relationship, did he? That's right, Feng Xianlong said. It's about Xiaoxiao, Uncle Feng. There's something I need to explain first. The relationship between Xiaoxiao and me isn't what you think. Lin Yi felt he had to make this clear up front, otherwise it might cause even greater misunderstandings. What kind of relationship? Feng Xianlong smiled. Would you mind listening to me first? Okay, Uncle Feng, Lin Yi nodded. Lin Yi, I'm here to talk to you about Xiaoxiao herself. As for your relationship with her, I know everything. Have you forgotten what I do? Feng Xianlong said. Oh, I did, Lin Yi chuckled self-deprecatingly. It's only been 2 months since he'd left that kind of life, and he's already feeling unaccustomed? Feng Xianlong has a large number of intelligence personnel under his command, so it wouldn't be difficult for him to find out what's happening at the school. As for his relationship with Feng Xiaoxiao, there's probably no need to explain anything. Feng Xianlong knows it all. Do you have time? Can we meet? Feng Xianlong asked. Now, Lin Yi didn't have any problem, but Tang Yun was coming over soon, and it looked like he'd have to break his promise again. Right now, I'm staying at the Pengzhan Business Hotel, room 1209. You can just come find me, Feng Xianlong said. Can you bring your girlfriend with you? Bring your girlfriend? Lin Yi was visibly taken aback, somewhat confused by Feng Xianlong's intentions. Her name is Tang Yun, right? I'd like to meet her too, Feng Xianlong said. I have something to say to her, okay. Although Lin Yi was a little puzzled as to why Feng Xianlong wanted to see Tang Yun, he agreed out of trust in Feng Xianlong. The reason was simple. Feng Xianlong was Lin Yi's former comrade in arms, someone he could trust with his back, so Lin Yi believed Feng Xianlong wouldn't harm him. And Feng Xianlong must have his own reasons for asking Tang Yun to go with him. Then I'll wait for you. It's been a long time since we last met. We met in a hurry in Yanjing last time, but we didn't have time to reminisce. I really miss you, Ying. You actually appeared in the #1 high school in Songshan City. Your experience makes me very curious. Feng Xianlong finished his business and laughed with some nostalgia. That's all in the past. Tang Yun doesn't know about my past, Lin Yi said. Oh? I see. Then I won't mention those things. Feng Xianlong was stunned for a moment, then said immediately. When Lin Yi hung up the phone, he saw Tang Yun running towards him. Lin Yi found that the little rabbit on Tang Yun's chest was getting more and more ready to burst out. Her school uniform was one size smaller. Have you been waiting for a long time? The teacher is here. I can't skip class. I'll come out after class. Tang Yun apologized and tidied the hair that fell on her forehead due to running. I just arrived too. I received a call and you're here. Lin Yi's eyes were fixed on Tang Yun's chest. Did he want to touch it? Oh, Tang Yun suddenly noticed Lin Yi's gaze and her face flushed. What are you looking at? Chapter 990. You misunderstood. Your uniform seems to have gotten smaller, Lin Yi asked. Really? Tang Yun felt a little embarrassed when Lin Yi noticed the changes in her body, but she was secretly delighted. Did it work? It seems the uniform is really a little small? And the bra is smaller too? Oh, all the ones I bought before are no longer usable. What a waste. Tang Yun was a little reluctant to part with him. However, she obviously couldn't say this to Lin Yi, so she could only feign ignorance and say, maybe it's shrunk from washing too many times. Oh, I thought you got bigger. Lin Yi looked at Tang Yun with a hint of mischief. How would I know? Tang Yun would never admit to having breast augmentation, and the reason was that she was provoked by Chen Yushu. This was too embarrassing. Tang Yun was a shy girl to begin with, and now she was actually doing it to please a boy? She would die if she told him. It seems to have really gotten bigger, Lin Yi said. I didn't know anything. Tang Yun covered her ears, her face burning. How had he noticed? Was he always focusing on this part of her? Haha, but this is pretty good, Lin Yi encouraged. It should feel good. What are you thinking about? Tang Yun glared at Lin Yi. When you say that, you are just talking nonsense. What if someone hears us? Let's go for a walk. By the way, do you have time now? Lin Yi did not forget that he had an appointment with Feng Xianlong. Now? What are you going to do? Tang Yun asked. Come with me to Pengzhan Business Hotel, Lin Yi said. Huh? Tang Yun was stunned for a moment, and then her pretty face flushed. Lin Yi suddenly took her to a business hotel. What was he going to do? It's no wonder that Tang Yun thought of something wrong. Lin Yi had just stared at her breasts lustfully for a long time. How could Tang Yun think that Lin Yi wanted to find her to get a room? They both finished their meal, and it was not time for dinner. What were they going to do in a business hotel? Tang Yun also knew that business hotels offered accommodations in addition to meals. Going there now might be. Are we moving a little too fast? Tang Yun said this cautiously, fearing that a refusal would upset Lin Yi. However, it did feel a bit sudden, and she wasn't mentally prepared. Although she had completely accepted Lin Yi and knew it was a matter of time, she was more likely to accept him after college, even if it was just the beginning of her freshman year. She was still in her third year, so Tang Yun felt it was still a little early. What do you mean by too fast? Lin Yi was stunned by Tang Yun, not quite understanding. How did going to the Pengzhan Business Hotel have to do with moving too fast? After hearing Lin Yi's words, the nervous Tang Yun thought Lin Yi was asking a rhetorical question. Was he angry? So, Tang Yun gritted her teeth and made a major decision. Then how about today? I don't think I'm in my safe period, huh? Lin Yi almost gritted his teeth after hearing Tang Yun's words. He finally understood what she meant. Tang Yun had misunderstood, leaving Lin Yi feeling both amused and embarrassed. She'd assumed he'd taken her to the hotel to get a room. What's wrong? Tang Yun was startled by Lin Yi's exclamation, and immediately looked at him in confusion. Yunyan, you misunderstood. I meant I'm meeting someone at the Pengzhan Business Hotel, and I'd like to take you with me, so I asked if you were free. Lin Yi looked at the adorable, slightly silly Tang Yun, and a thought struck him. Tang Yun's proposal was tempting, but Lin Yi was a man of strong self-control. He wouldn't force Tang Yun to do anything. Everything was best when it flowed naturally. In love, Lin Yi prioritized spiritual connection. When their hearts were connected, everything else fell into place. Is that so? Tang Yun's face flushed even more, and she felt even more embarrassed. Had she misunderstood? She'd actually misunderstood? Lin Yi, you rascal. Why don't you just say what you want to say? Are you trying to embarrass me? Tang Yun was so mortified and angry that she nearly crawled into the ground. Haha, your thoughts are more complicated than mine, Lin Yi laughed. You're so annoying. I'll bite you to death, Tang Yun said, and then she pretended to bite Lin Yi. After venting her anger, Tang Yun felt less shy. Who are you going to see? And you want to take me with you? Pengzhan Xiao's father, Lin Yi said. Huh? Tang Yun's smile froze a little after hearing Lin Yi's words. Pengzhan Xiao's father? What does he want with us? It's no wonder Tang Yun was nervous. In her opinion, Pengzhan Xiao's father had nothing in common with her and Lin Yi. Pengzhan Xiao's father suddenly wanted to see her and Lin Yi, so it was hard to guarantee that Tang Yun wouldn't have some thoughts. Tang Yun couldn't help but imagine a scene in her mind, Pengzhan Xiao's father demanding how much money he would give her before he would leave Lin Yi. This scene often appears in urban romance TV dramas. Considering Pengzhan Xiao's family background, she usually drove a sports car to school, so she must be extraordinary. Compared to her, Tang Yun felt so weak. I don't know. It's about Xiao, Lin Yi shook his head. He didn't know what Feng Xianlong wanted to do with him. Oh, Tang Yun felt a little uncomfortable when she heard Lin Yi calling Pengzhan Xiao. They were so close. Was there really nothing going on between him and Pengzhan Xiao? Tang Yun was not sure. What's wrong? You seem a little unhappy. Lin Yi could also see that Tang Yun's face looked a little unhappy. No, nothing. Tang Yun shook her head. Although she was worried, she didn't dare to ask. If you don't want to go, then don't go. I'll talk to Uncle Feng. Although Lin Yi didn't quite understand why Tang Yun was suddenly unhappy, it was obvious that she didn't want to see Feng Xianlong. No, I want to go, Tang Yun shook her head. Although she was a little nervous, how could she not go? What if Feng Xiaoxiao's father promised Lin Yi some benefits to make him leave her? So she had to go and see what Feng Xiaoxiao's father was going to do. Even though Feng Xiaoxiao didn't believe Lin Yi would give up her for some benefits, from the moment Lin Yi gave her the ring when he left, Tang Yun knew that she was destined to be his woman in this life. He had already decided on her. However, although there were some things that she knew would never happen, the fragile nature of a girl still made Tang Yun want to find out the truth. Haha, let's go, Lin Yi smiled. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 991 Encounter on the Road. You won't abandon me, will you? Tang Yun asked hesitantly. I'm afraid you won't, Lin Yi said, speaking the truth. His wandering life made him uneasy. Actually, what I just said was the truth. Tang Yun hesitated, then said firmly, I'm the kind of girl who's loyal to one man. Even if you don't want me anymore, I won't let anyone else touch me. Tang Yun was referring to the time she and Lin Yi planned to get a room together. He was sure Lin Yi would understand. Lin Yi nodded and took Tang Yun's hand. He understood her feelings. In fact, he had known about them for a long time. Tang Yun felt relieved when Lin Yi took her hand. A smile appeared on her lips, and they walked towards the school gate together. In the past, Tang Yun thought holding hands with a boy was too much, but now, she felt very happy. Lin Yi was driving Chen Yashu's Beetle again today. Chu Mengyao's Audi S5 was a bit too eye-catching. If Lin Yi drove to the hospital to pick Tang Yun up every day, he would probably attract onlookers. However, the Beetle was much more low-key, and its smaller size made it suitable for Lin Yi to quickly navigate traffic jams. At this time, there weren't many cars on the road, so the road was basically smooth, but there were a few more traffic lights. Most of the time spent on the journey was spent waiting for the signal. Hey, buddy, do you want to try something exciting? Lin Yi parked the car in front of a traffic post with a long signal. While he was waiting, a man in his 20s with dyed blonde hair approached him. Because it was hot, Lin Yi had the window open, so he could easily talk to Lin Yi. Lin Yi glanced at him, but didn't say anything, waiting for him to continue. Have you ever been to an underground black boxing ring? It's very exciting, it's all real-life combat, and you can gamble on the outcome. Are you interested? The blonde man talked to Lin Yi non-stop. Not really. After listening to the blonde man's words, Lin Yi shook his head lightly. Underground black boxing ring? Those were places for bored rich people or gangsters. Lin Yi was now constantly engaging in Mortal Kombat, so why would he be interested in some underground boxing ring? Oh, this is our business card. If you're interested, you can call the number on it. Seeing Lin Yi's lack of interest, the blonde man handed Lin Yi a card and turned to find his next target. Lin Yi glanced at the card. It contained nothing more than some exciting promotional slogans, with only a phone number and no detailed address. He was about to throw it away when Tang Yun stopped him. What is that? Let me see it. What is an underground boxing ring? Lin Yi handed the card to Tang Yun and said, it's a private boxing match. There aren't usually any rules. The only rule is to beat the opponent until they can't get up. Therefore, casualties are common. Lin Yi had participated in a fight in an underground boxing ring before. It was also a mission, but it wasn't very challenging. There weren't many experts in those rings, and even a master of Lin Yi's level would be instantly defeated. Ah, that's not illegal, Tang Yun asked in surprise. Haha, it's illegal anyway, Lin Yi nodded. Oh, then how do they make money? Tang Yun didn't know much about these things. Tickets are a huge source of income, and the organizers can even be the banker, letting the audience bet on which player will win, how many games they can win, and so on. It's a very profitable business. Lin Yi explained. Oh, then if they just hand out these cards on the street, wouldn't it be easy for people to spot them? Tang Yun wasn't interested in anything violent, so she tossed a business card into the glove compartment of her car. These people are professional advertisers, and they're a separate group from the real organizers of the underground boxing ring, Lin Yi said, pointing to the blonde man who had handed him his business card. These people are posting ads every day. They're very discerning. Look, they specifically target young people who drive nice cars. Many of them are from wealthy families, and they're also the target audience of the underground boxing ring. Lin Yi was quite familiar with this business. These business card distributors didn't just post illegal business cards. They also regularly posted business cards for loan sharks, revenge agencies, and escorts. If they weren't smart, they'd have been arrested long ago. But then again, even if they were arrested, the police wouldn't be able to get any key information out of them because they were hired by the police. They were just paid to post ads and had no other connection to the people behind the scenes. Oh, how terrifying, Tang Yun nodded, and suddenly asked, how do you know so much? Have you ever seen an underground boxing ring? Not me, Lin Yi shrugged. You've fought. Tang Yun was startled, subconsciously wanting to ask Lin Yi why he'd done such a dangerous thing. But considering Lin Yi's strength, it didn't seem like a problem. It was just that Lin Yi's past seemed complicated. Sometimes, Tang Yun longed to know about Lin Yi's past, but if he wouldn't tell her, she couldn't ask. She felt that Lin Yi must be a man with a story. But no matter what Lin Yi's past was like, good or bad, since Tang Yun had decided on him, she would accept him completely. Haha, it's all in the past. When I have some free time, I'll tell you about my past. Lin Yi didn't intend to hide his past from Tang Yun, but it was too dangerous, and he was afraid Tang Yun wouldn't be able to accept it immediately, so he planned to slowly reveal it to her. Okay, Tang Yun nodded happily. Lin Yi drove Tang Yun to the parking lot of the Pengzhan Business Hotel, then took the elevator directly to the 12th floor and arrived at room 1209. Lin Yi was about to knock on the door, but Tang Yun's heart tightened. She held Lin Yi's hand and broke out in a slight sweat. It was impossible for her to not be nervous. Although she firmly believed that the love between her and Lin Yi would blossom and bear fruit. Don't worry, I'm here. Lin Yi squeezed Tang Yun's hand, motioning her to be at ease. Tang Yun nodded, smiled slightly, and her heart was filled with courage again. Lin Yi knocked on the door. Not long after, Feng Xianlong's voice came from the room. Who is it? It's me, Lin Yi, Lin Yi said. The door of the room was opened. Feng Xianlong saw Lin Yi and Tang Yun, smiled slightly, and said warmly, Lin Yi, Tang Yun, welcome. Please come in. Chapter 992 Meet the Parents. Uncle Feng, you're welcome. Lin Yi didn't let go of Tang Yun's hand, and pulled her into the room. Lin Yi's move was undoubtedly to express his feelings to Tang Yun, asking her not to worry or have any concerns. Tang Yun was obviously very happy, and snuggled up to Lin Yi. Feng Xianlong smiled and took Lin Yi and Tang Yun into the room. He lived in a suite with a separate living room. Feng Xianlong asked Lin Yi to sit on the sofa, and then took out a bottle of drink from the refrigerator in the room for Lin Yi and Tang Yun. I didn't make tea. Sorry, it's okay. We don't like tea either. Lin Yi smiled and took the drink handed over by Feng Xianlong. It was a popular grapefruit tea, but Lin Yi was not very interested in the drink and gave it all to Tang Yun directly. Feng Xianlong also got himself a bottle of mineral water, and then sat on the sofa opposite Lin Yi and Tang Yun. Lin Yi, Tang Yun, thank you very much for coming to see me. I am very grateful. Uncle Feng, you and I are old acquaintances, so don't be polite. You are looking for me. Lin Yi waved his hand. He knew that Feng Xianlong said this for Tang Yun to hear, but Lin Yi did not intend to hide it from Tang Yun. Even if those dangerous things in the past were difficult to talk about now, there was no need to hide the fact that he and Feng Xianlong were old acquaintances. Feng Xianlong was slightly stunned, then nodded and said, okay, then I will get straight to the point. The main reason I asked you to come this time was to talk about Xiaoxio, Uncle Feng. Since you know that I have a girlfriend, then there is actually nothing between Xiaoxio and me. You know this. Lin Yi reiterated the issue in front of Tang Yun. I know. Feng Xianlong waved his hand. Xiaoxio is in love with me. I can see that. She hasn't told me that she has any special relationship with you. Tang Yun felt relieved after hearing Feng Xianlong's words. The situation she had expected didn't happen, and Feng Xianlong didn't offer a large sum of money to get her to leave Lin Yi, which made her look much better. Oh? So, Uncle Feng asked me to come here, Lin Yi asked, looking at Feng Xianlong with some confusion. Well, you know about Xiaoxio's illness, right? Feng Xianlong pondered for a moment, then got straight to the point. Xiaoxio's illness? She is sick. Lin Yi was slightly stunned, and said in some confusion, I just had dinner with her before. She is not sick. Oh? You don't know? Xiaoxio didn't tell you. Feng Xianlong was also stunned, then smiled bitterly. Yes, with Xiaoxiao's personality, even if she likes you, she will not use such means to win your sympathy. Lin Yi became more and more puzzled after listening to Feng Xianlong's words. Uncle Feng, do you mean to say, Xiaoxiao is sick? She is not sick, but has a family hereditary disease since childhood. But didn't you find it? Feng Xianlong was also a little surprised. As far as I know, you are a miracle doctor, right? The old man of the Liu family, Liu Zhen, whose old illness was cured by you. Lin Yi frowned, but then he was relieved. With the intelligence information from Feng Xianlong, it was not difficult to know these. So he nodded and said, that's right, I cured him. Seeing Lin Yi frown, Feng Xianlong said, the news that you cured the old man of the Liu family's illness is no longer a secret. It has spread throughout the upper class of Yanjing. It must have been the Liu family who released the news themselves. I just got the news. Feng Xianlong was right. He had his men specifically responsible for keeping an eye out for news about Lin Yi. So as soon as the news that Liu Zhen, who was cured by Lin Yi, got out, Feng Xianlong's men immediately reported to Feng Xianlong. Feng Xianlong originally wanted to wait a few days before looking for Lin Yi, but after hearing this news, Feng Xianlong could no longer suppress his anxiety. Lin Yi could even cure Liu Zhen, whose old illness, so could he also cure Xiaoxiao's genetic disease? So, after Feng Xiaoxiao called him to say that she had already contacted Lin Yi, Feng Xianlong couldn't wait to call Lin Yi. However, the reason he also called Tang Yun over was to prepare for both situations. It would be great if Lin Yi could cure Feng Xiaoxiao's illness. But what if Lin Yi couldn't? They released the news themselves. Lin Yi pondered for a moment and understood what the Liu family meant. The Liu family should have kept this matter confidential, but releasing the news at this time made it clear what they meant. They were making their stance clear to the Yu and Zhao families. The Yu and Zhao families were enemies with Lin Yi, but the Liu family had received Lin Yi's favor, so naturally they wouldn't help the Yu and Zhao families. They would even stand on Lin Yi's side when necessary. Lin Yi understood the Liu family's intentions and didn't blame them. Instead, he found the Liu family very interesting. How dare they make such a gamble at this moment? Aren't they afraid that after the Yu and Zhao families destroyed them, they would go and destroy their Liu family? But no matter what, Lin Yi's impression of the Liu family improved a little, at least eluding the unpleasantness brought by Wu Huru before. Let's talk about Xiaoxiao first, Feng Xianlong said. This story starts with Xiaoxiao's mother's lineage. Xiaoxiao's mother's lineage has a genetic disease that's passed down to sons, not daughters. Boys are fine, but girls don't live past the age of 20. What? A genetic disease? Lin Yi was stunned. Then Xiaoxiao, yes, Xiaoxiao also has this disease. Moreover, as she ages, her physical condition will become weaker and weaker until she dies. At this point, a trace of sadness flashed in Feng Xianlong's eyes, a helpless sadness. Facing his daughter's end, Feng Xianlong was completely helpless. He had no way to save her, no way to change anything. When his wife left him, he was heartbroken. He hoped that with the development of technology and medical care, a solution to his daughter's disease could be found. However, 19 years passed in the blink of an eye, and as his daughter was about to leave him, no cure had appeared. After all, his daughter's disease was too uncommon, and many institutions were unable to conduct specialized research. What? Death? Xiaoxiao is 19 years old now, so she. Lin Yi's eyes widened in horror. He didn't expect Feng Xiaoxiao to have such a strange disease and was about to die. Of course, Lin Yi didn't think Feng Xianlong was joking. With Feng Xianlong's identity and personality, there was no need and reason for him to play such a joke with Lin Yi. Tang Yun, who was beside Lin Yi, was also staring at Feng Xianlong blankly at this moment. She didn't expect that Feng Xiaoxiao, whom she had always regarded as a rival in love, was actually about to die. Chapter 993. Is she going to die? Is this true? Tang Yun suddenly had a feeling of unreality. A classmate of hers, the two of them were arguing a few days ago, and today her father told her that she was going to die. Although Tang Yun was a little angry that Feng Xiaoxiao had deceived her, and hated her for interfering between her and Lin Yi, she never thought that she was a dying person. The impact of this news on Tang Yun was too great. Feng Xiaoxiao is going to die? There was a hint of trembling in Tang Yun's voice. Although she was annoyed with Feng Xiaoxiao, she definitely didn't want her to die. This was just like when she first heard the news that Chu Mengyao was in trouble. Although Chu Mengyao was her love rival, Tang Yun still asked Lin Yi to help with the treatment. Yes, this time when we went to Yanjing, I actually took her to the hospital for a checkup. The result was not good. Her vitality was disappearing little by little, Feng Xianlong sighed. Moreover, in Yanjing, she had the same symptoms as her mother's illness, but you saved her. Lin Yi, you can save Xia Oxio, right? Last time in the hotel, Xia Oxio suddenly fainted. Was she sick? Lin Yi remembered that time when Feng Xia Oxio fainted strangely, and when she fainted, she almost sucked all the energy from her body. However, Lin Yi did not find any symptoms in Feng Xia Oxio. In Lin Yi's opinion, Feng Xia Oxio was a very normal person and had no illness at all. Although he felt it was strange at the time, he did not care. But now, after listening to Feng Xianlong's words, Lin Yi felt something was strange. How could a normal person suck all the energy from his body without getting hurt? This is not common sense. Moreover, Lin Yi suddenly thought of the question Feng Xia Oxio asked him today. Feng Xia Oxio asked Lin Yi to see how long she could live. At the time, Lin Yi thought Feng Xia Oxio was joking and didn't take her seriously, just giving her a perfunctory reply. But now it seems that Feng Xia Oxio really wanted to ask him how long she could live. Yes, Xia Oxio's illness requires her to eat too much cold food, such as seafood, Feng Xianlong said. Last time, she ate too much seafood, and her illness flared up. If nothing unexpected happened, she wouldn't have woken up that time. But you made her wake up again. This has to be said to be a miracle. Lin Yi was stunned after hearing Feng Xianlong's words. He hadn't imagined that Feng Xia Oxio almost died the last time they were in the hotel. If he hadn't accompanied Feng Xia Oxio back to the hotel, and she had been alone in the hotel, the consequences would be unimaginable. He might never see her again. Does she know that she can't eat cold food? Lin Yi asked with a wry smile. I know, but Xia Oxio is a child who sometimes acts impulsively without considering the consequences. Feng Xianlong shook his head. She knows that she doesn't have long to live, so she always does things casually and does whatever she thinks of. She is also afraid of regrets when she dies. Oh, I can see that. Lin Yi shrugged, but Feng Xia Oxio's character seems quite cute now, but she did nothing wrong. She can live a free and vigorous life in her short life, and there will be no regrets. Tang Yun, who was standing aside, couldn't help but be moved. She never thought that Feng Xia Oxio would hide so deeply, hiding her sadness in her heart, but appearing happy every day, and the whole person looked very sunny. In fact, she was the most miserable person. Lin Yi, you can save Xia Oxio, right? Feng Xianlong looked up at Lin Yi with hope and asked. No, Lin Yi answered bluntly, I haven't found out what disease she has. In my opinion, she is not sick at all. How can I treat her? Lin Yi didn't mean to discourage Feng Xianlong, but to be realistic. Otherwise, if he gave Feng Xianlong hope, he would be even more disappointed. Feng Xianlong's face suddenly darkened. When he called Lin Yi over before, he was full of hope. After all, Lin Yi saved Liu Zhenhu, and most importantly, it was Lin Yi who saved Feng Xia Oxio's last illness. However, she was not cured. Her body indicators only slightly improved from the worst case, but it was only a slight recovery, and would soon return to the low point again. Even so, it gave Feng Xianlong great hope. In his opinion, once Feng Xia Oxio fell into coma, it was a sign of the end of her life. No medical treatment would be of any use, but Lin Yi could save her. But Lin Yi's words were like a wake-up call to Feng Xianlong, which made him a little unable to accept. Then how did you save Xia Oxio last time? How about you check Xia Oxio's condition carefully again? I just transferred all the true energy in my body to her. This is not a treatment, Lin Yi said. Besides, this is not a question of being careful or not. You and I are both practitioners. You should know that after my true energy circulates in Xia Oxio's body, her condition can be determined, but I didn't find any symptoms. Feng Xianlong hesitated and said, Lin Yi, can you think of another way? Although Feng Xianlong, don't have much money, as long as you are willing to help, I can satisfy you even if you have any conditions, even if I sell everything I have. Uncle Feng, you are serious? Lin Yi's expression became serious and said, what kind of person I am? I believe you know a thing or two. I received 100 million for treating the Liu family, that's because I didn't know them. But I didn't take a penny for treating Yang Huaijin, and I did my best. The relationship between you and me is the same as the relationship between Yang Huaijin and me. I think I don't need to say more. Feng Xianlong's expression changed. He naturally knew Yang Huaijin as well, as they had all worked together before. Lin Yi's words made his stance clear. If he could save Xia Oxio, he would definitely do it without hesitation. But now, it seemed like there was really no other way. Lin Yi, if Xia Oxio falls into coma again, can you still give her your true key? Feng Xianlong knew that his request was a bit excessive. Martial artists valued their true key as extremely precious. It was acquired through hard training bit by bit. Giving it away for no reason would not only affect their own strength, but could even put their lives in danger. So Feng Xianlong was very nervous when he said this. Okay, Lin Yi said this time very straightforwardly, but it was just an affirmative answer. Although true key was important to Lin Yi, it was not very important. If he lost it, he could quickly recover it in the jade pendant space. Chapter 994 Feng Xianlong's request. So even if Feng Xianlong didn't have this relationship, Lin Yi would not be stingy towards Feng Xiaoxio, his classmate. Besides, he had touched her breasts, so Lin Yi would always feel a little sorry. Thank you so much. Feng Xianlong was so excited after hearing Lin Yi's words that he didn't know what to say. Feng Xianlong was very clear about the importance of true key. He didn't expect Lin Yi to agree without even thinking. It's too early to say thank you now. Lin Yi waved his hand. It seems that true key has no significant effect on Xia Oxio's condition, and there is no possibility of a cure. Yes, Feng Xianlong sighed, and said bitterly, now we can only try our best. Apart from this, what else can we do? Lin Yi, do you really have no other way? Can you save Feng Xiaoxio? She's so pitiful. Tang Yun felt a little reluctant. She was afraid that Lin Yi would consider her feelings or have a bad impression of Feng Xiaoxio and not do his best to save her. Yes, can you think of another way to get that longevity and detoxification pill? Will it be of any use to Xiaoxio? Feng Xianlong glanced at Tang Yun gratefully, then spoke anxiously. That longevity and detoxification pill isn't really that useful. Lin Yi shook his head. But I can give you one. It won't hurt you if you take it poorly, huh? Feng Xianlong was stunned. In his opinion, even if Lin Yi agreed to give him a longevity and detoxification pill, he wouldn't give it away for free. After all, that pill had fetched a whopping 400 million yuan at auction. No matter how close they were, there was no way Lin Yi would just give one away casually. After all, it cost money. However, Feng Xianlong hadn't expected Lin Yi to be so generous as to give him one directly. He was instantly moved beyond words. How can that be? One pill costs hundreds of millions of yuan, Feng Xianlong said, moved. Oh, it's no problem to give you 10, Lin Yi said calmly. Sometimes friendships are lifelong, aren't they? You're right, I'm being sentimental, Feng Xianlong nodded heavily. Tell me more about her condition and where she's been treated, and I'll think of a solution. Lin Yi pondered for a moment and said, in reality, there really wasn't anything I could do. Feng Xiaoxio's situation was something he had never heard of before. If he had to think of a solution, he could only ask Feng Xianlong to provide more information, and then ask his own old man for advice. Although he had inherited a large part of the old man's medical skills, the old man was still better than him in some ways. Xia Oxio's illness actually started with her mother. Xia Oxio's mother also died of this family genetic disease. She was only 20 years old when she died. At that time, it was thanks to the hard work of a miracle doctor that Xia Oxio's mother was able to hold on to the limit of 20 years old. The other people in the family usually reach the end of their lives at the age of 17 or 18, Feng Xianlong sighed and said, now according to the hospital's analysis, there is an unknown substance in Xia Oxio's blood. No one knows what this substance is. Some say it is a blood defect, and some say it is poison. The miracle doctor who treated Xia Oxio's mother that year analyzed that it might be a kind of poison. Lin Yi frowned. What Feng Xianlong said was basically the same as saying nothing. Because there was no important information, Lin Yi felt at a loss as to where to start. He just asked casually, who is that miracle doctor? In Lin Yi's opinion, it was not easy for that miracle doctor to keep Feng Xiaoxio's mother alive to the limit of 20 years old. His name is Lin Dongfang. He was once a famous miracle doctor. The older generation knows his name, Feng Xianlong said. Lin Dongfang. Lin Yi's eyes widened and he looked at Feng Xianlong. Are you sure that the miracle doctor is called Lin Dongfang? Yes, what's the matter, Lin Yi? You've heard of this person too? Feng Xianlong was stunned when he saw Lin Yi's reaction, but then he seemed to think of something. Your last name is also Lin. You can't be, since he has seen it and there is no way. Then I really have no way either. Lin Yi smiled bitterly and said, he is my old man, the one who taught me medicine. Old man? He is your father. Feng Xianlong also widened his eyes and looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. He didn't expect that 19 years later, he would actually see the successor of Lin Dongfang, and he was also troubled by the same disease. He is not my father. According to age, I can call him grandpa, but he said that I have no blood relationship with him and that he picked me up. Lin Yi did not hide anything this time. Firstly, Feng Xianlong was a trustworthy person, and secondly, Feng Xianlong had known Lin Dongfang before, so there was no need for him to hide anything from him. Feng Xianlong sighed. Looks like there's really no way. Lin Yi spread his hands. He was helpless. Feng Xiaoxiao's illness was a special one, with no references. Lin Yi hadn't seen similar treatments in ancient books. So, although Lin Yi sympathized with Feng Xiaoxiao, he was truly powerless. Uncle Feng, I'm sorry for your loss. Birth, aging, sickness, and death are human nature, Lin Yi sighed. But I'll do my best to find a solution, thank you. Feng Xianlong nodded somewhat dejectedly. He could only accept this reality. Lin Yi had no other options, which made him completely give up. He didn't think Lin Yi could come up with any solution. After all, Lin Yi's master, Lin Dongfang, couldn't do anything, so what could Lin Yi do? Xiaoxiao is already 19 years old, so I'm afraid that's only a year and a half away, Feng Xianlong said sadly. Lin Yi didn't know what to say. He had seen too many people die, and so had Feng Xianlong. But when it came to his own daughter, he still felt sad. Lin Yi, Feng Xianlong hesitated at this point. I have a request, Uncle Feng, please tell me, don't say anything about requests. I will do whatever I can to help you, Lin Yi said quickly. I can see that Xiaoxiao likes you. Feng Xianlong looked up at Lin Yi and said. Probably. Lin Yi nodded without comment, waiting for Feng Xianlong's next words. Tang Yun's heart skipped a beat, and she also looked up. Xiaoxiao doesn't have much time left. She has never liked any boy since she was a child, nor has she been in a real relationship. But I can see that Xiaoxiao really wants to have a relationship this time, a passionate love, Feng Xiaoxiao said here, and said to Lin Yi, I hope you can agree to my request. This is a request from me as an old friend and Xiaoxiao's father. Chapter 995 Tang Yun's decision. Uncle Feng, do you want me to be Xiaoxiao's boyfriend? Lin Yi naturally understood what Feng Xianlong meant, but he shook his head and said, but this kind of thing is no joke. I'm sorry, I can't agree to you. After all, although I have some feelings for Xiaoxiao, I already have a girlfriend. Lin Yi, listen to me first, this is why I asked your girlfriend to come too, Feng Xianlong said, although I know this is unfair to your girlfriend, as a father, I also hope that my daughter can be as happy as possible and have no regrets before her life comes to an end. Of course, I'm not asking you to break up with your girlfriend, you just have to pretend and play along, deceive Xiaoxiao, and let her leave without regrets. This is a father's wish. I hope you can promise me. As he said that, Feng Xianlong stood up and was about to bow to Lin Yi. Lin Yi was startled and quickly stood up to stop Feng Xianlong. He smiled bitterly and said, Uncle Feng, what are you doing? We're discussing something, why are you doing this? Uncle Feng, I promise. Before Lin Yi could agree, Tang Yun spoke up, Uncle Feng, I will cooperate with Lin Yi and play this role well, so that Xiaoxiao can walk her final journey without regrets. Tang Yun was truly moved. Besides, Feng Xianlong had made it clear that he was just asking Lin Yi to pretend to be Feng Xiaoxiao's boyfriend. Tang Yun thought, even if it was true, so what? What was there to fight for between her and a dying man? Even if she had to give Lin Yi to Feng Xiaoxiao for a year, Tang Yun would reluctantly accept it. After all, she and Lin Yi had a long road ahead of them, while Feng Xiaoxiao only had less than a year left to live. It was an injustice of fate, and Tang Yun sympathized with her and agreed to Feng Xianlong's request without hesitation. Feng Xianlong had originally thought that Tang Yun was the biggest obstacle to this matter, but he hadn't expected that she would be the first to agree. Feng Xianlong was deeply moved by this and fell deeply in love with Tang Yun, this kind girl. Such selfless spirit is not something every girl possesses. Tang Yun, thank you. Feng Xianlong solemnly thanked Tang Yun. Don't say that. Xia Oxiao is also my classmate. Making her happy is what I want. Tang Yun shook her head. Thank you. Lin Yi, can you agree to my request? Feng Xianlong knew that Lin Yi hadn't yet expressed his opinion. Although Tang Yun had agreed, Lin Yi was the one who was in charge of this matter. Yunayan has agreed, what else can I say? Lin Yi smiled bitterly. Does this count as picking up girls under orders? Haha. Feng Xianlong couldn't help but laugh happily at Lin Yi's words. You two can be more open in your interactions. I'm not afraid of my daughter being at fault, and I don't need you to take responsibility. It would be best if we had a child so I wouldn't be lonely in my old age, huh? Lin Yi's eyes widened, startled by Feng Xianlong's words. Tang Yun's expression also changed slightly. Asking Lin Yi and Feng Xiaoxiao to have a child? Although Tang Yun sympathized with Feng Xiaoxiao and was willing to let Lin Yi pretend to be Feng Xiaoxiao's boyfriend, asking Feng Xiaoxiao to give birth to a child for Lin Yi was something that Tang Yun found very strange. What would happen after the child was born? If Feng Xiaoxiao really died, would Lin Yi have to take care of the child and become a stepmother? Tang Yun felt that she couldn't accept it in her heart, at least not now. How old was she? And she was already a stepmother to someone else. How weird. Uncle Feng, I'm afraid it's really hard for me to agree to your request, Lin Yi said after a moment of hesitation, then smiled bitterly and shook his head in refusal. Lin Yi, I know you are worried about what will happen to the child in the future, but I can assure you that I will never let you be responsible, nor will I let you take care of the child, Feng Xianlong said. I will take care of the child myself. If you don't want to, I cannot tell the child who his father is. Uncle Feng, let's put this matter aside for now, okay? Let's not talk about whether Xia Oxiao can agree or not. Even Xia Oxiao and I don't have such a deep relationship, so it's not too late to talk about it when it really comes to that step. Lin Yi waved his hand and said, besides, if it really comes to that step, I will recognize the child. I can't let the child be without a mother and a father. Okay, Feng Xianlong sighed. Although Lin Yi said it nicely, Feng Xianlong knew that Lin Yi was just a disguised euphemism for refusal. Lin Yi and his daughter probably won't be together for a while, and his daughter is dying, so it will be too late later. Since Yunayan has agreed, I won't be pretentious. I can only say I'll do my best, but I won't abandon Yunayan. If Xia Oxiao can accept Yunayan, then there's no problem. If she still rejects Yunayan, then I won't let Yunayan suffer. Although Lin Yi sympathized with Feng Xiaoxiao and couldn't refuse Feng Xianlong, he also didn't want Tang Yun to suffer in vain. Lin Yi, it's nothing. Don't worry about me. It's only a year. I'll bear it and it will pass. Tang Yun quickly shook her head. She had already made her decision. How could she go back on her word? We'll talk about it later. Lin Yi didn't dwell on the issue any further. Lin Yi, Tang Yun, I have one more request. Please don't tell Xia Oxiao the truth. Don't let her know that she has a terminal illness. Xia Oxiao is a very proud child. I'm afraid she'll reject your kindness if she knows the truth, Feng Xianlong reminded him. Don't worry, Uncle Feng, I know my limits. We won't say anything. Lin Yi nodded in agreement. Then I'm relieved, Feng Xianlong said, then there's nothing to worry about. Are you free? I'll treat you to a meal to express my gratitude, Uncle Feng. There's no need for a meal. Lin Yi waved his hand and said, Tang Yun and I still have to go back to school. Uncle Feng, you don't have to be so polite. You asked me to date your daughter and even treated me to a meal. I feel very awkward, haha. Feng Xianlong was amused by Lin Yi, so he said, okay, then, when Xia Oxiao and I come back together, let's go for dinner again. Lin Yi nodded, said goodbye to Feng Xianlong, and left Pengzhan Business Hotel with Tang Yun. In the car, Lin Yi turned and looked at Tang Yun. Yunayan, don't be wronged, concentrate on driving, Tang Yun said. I won't be wronged. I also sympathize with Xia Oxiao. I think this is a good thing to do. Chapter 996. What do I mind? But you, Lin Yi had originally thought Tang Yun had agreed against her will, but now it seemed she was willing. It's fine with me, really. If Xia Oxiao accepts me and wants me by your side, then that's fine. If not, I'll just quietly watch over you guys from the side, Tang Yun said with a carefree smile. Lin Yi nodded and said nothing more. He truly hadn't expected things to come to this. Pengzhan Xiao actually had such a tragic life story, which was completely invisible on the surface. If Feng Xianlong hadn't revealed the truth, Lin Yi might have thought Pengzhan Xiao was a healthy, mischievous girl. The car arrived at the school and parked at the snack street behind it. Lin Yi and Tang Yun returned to school together. Lin Yi and Tang Yun parted ways at the entrance of Class 9, Grade 3. Before parting, Tang Yun winked at Lin Yi and said, "I'm going back to class now. You can start your pickup plan. But don't make it real." "I don't mind, but I'm afraid you'll be sad, haha." Lin Yi smiled, nodded, and walked towards his class. "Why don't you go to the cafeteria to buy something to eat?" When Lin Yi returned, the last class of the afternoon had already ended, and it was almost time for evening self-study. Evening self-study for grade 3 didn't start until after 6 p.m., so most students would go out to buy something to eat at this time. "I can go by myself," Tang Yun said. "Why don't you go and keep Xia Xiao company? It's too sudden a change. She'll get suspicious." "Let's change it gradually," Lin Yi shook his head. "I'll ask her later." "We can go to the cafeteria together." "That's fine," Tang Yun nodded. Lin Yi was right. If Lin Yi had done a 180-degree turn in his attitude, Pengzhan Xiao would probably really get suspicious. Returning to the classroom, Lin Yi saw Pengzhan Xiao sitting alone in her seat, and his heart ached. Pengzhan Xiao had no real friends. All the other students had gone out in groups of 3 or 4 to get food, leaving Pengzhan Xiao alone. Lin Yi quickly walked over to a seat and sat down. Pengzhan Xiao heard a noise beside her and looked up. Seeing Lin Yi, she couldn't help but feel delighted. "You're back? What took you so long? Didn't you get something to eat? Evening study isn't until 6:30, 2 hours. Aren't you hungry?" Lin Yi asked, not answering Pengzhan Xiao's question. "Huh?" Pengzhan Xiao was stunned. She had never expected Lin Yi to take the initiative to show concern for her, and she suddenly felt excited. "I haven't eaten yet. Do you want to? Let's go to the cafeteria together. I'm going with Tang Yun later," Lin Yi said calmly. He couldn't let Pengzhan Xiao see the flaw. His previous statement had been much better than usual, so Lin Yi had to strike a balance. "Oh, then I'll go too." Pengzhan Xiao was secretly annoyed. She thought Lin Yi was beginning to care about her, but it seemed like he was just asking casually. So she said with some unwillingness to admit defeat. "Whatever you want." Lin Yi did not refuse as usual, but said it indifferently, then stood up and walked towards the classroom door. Pengzhan Xiao hurriedly followed him, walking beside Lin Yi. She didn't believe that Lin Yi could resist such a strong pursuit of hers. He would definitely fall in love with her. Arriving at the door of Class 9, Grade 3, Lin Yi called Tang Yun. Tang Yun frowned when she saw Pengzhan Xiao beside Lin Yi, and was a little surprised. She said, "Lin Yi, she also wants to go to the cafeteria," Lin Yi said. Tang Yun glanced at Pengzhan Xiao, which was considered a greeting. She knew that she couldn't be too friendly, as that was not in line with her personality. So, this strange combination of 3 people walked together to the school cafeteria. Lin Yi held Tang Yun's hand, and Pengzhan Xiao followed on Lin Yi's other side. She wanted to hold Lin Yi's hand, but she was afraid that Lin Yi would just shake it off, which would be embarrassing. Pengzhan Xiao felt like she was such a fool. Why were Lin Yi and Tang Yun so close? It seemed that her plan to break up Tang Yun and Lin Yi was not going to be easy. Pengzhan Xiao also knew that after her last plan was exposed by Tang Yun might not react much. Expecting Lin Yi to fall in love with her and then dump her was an impossible task. At least, Pengzhan Xiao felt that it was a bit of a stretch to accomplish this in her lifetime. Should she change her strategy? Looking at the inseparable Lin Yi and Tang Yun, Pengzhan Xiao's little brain began to race again. Well, what if Lin Yi didn't dump Tang Yun, but instead fell in love with both of them at the same time, and then she died? Would Lin Yi be sad too? But, he still has Tang Yun. What if he doesn't feel anything if he dies? Wouldn't his death be in vain? Never mind. I'm going to die sooner or later anyway. I can't take revenge on Lin Yi. I'll just try out the feeling of love on Lin Yi. Anyway, I don't have to worry about hurting Lin Yi. Well, it's decided. Pengzhan Xiao comforted herself in her heart. Thinking of this, Pengzhan Xiao felt relieved and no longer had such a strong hostility towards Tang Yun. The 3 of them came to the cafeteria. Lin Yi went to buy food. He knew what Tang Yun usually ate, but he didn't know what Feng Xiaoxiao liked to eat, so he asked, Xiaoxiao, what are you eating? I'll eat whatever you guys eat. Are you treating me? Feng Xiaoxiao was suddenly happy when she heard that Lin Yi was going to treat her to a meal. Feng Xiaoxiao herself didn't know why she was so happy. Sometimes, the person a person knows the least is herself. Lin Yi nodded, I didn't enjoy the beef noodles at noon, so I'll treat you to another meal, then I'll just eat whatever you guys want, Feng Xiaoxiao said directly, not being picky. Okay, Lin Yi nodded and went to buy food. Before leaving, he glanced at Tang Yun, who gave him a reassuring look. Feng Xiaoxiao, what do you want to do? After Lin Yi left, Tang Yun looked at Feng Xiaoxiao and asked coldly. I like Lin Yi, what's wrong? Do you mind? Feng Xiaoxiao didn't expect Tang Yun to suddenly attack her, but she was no pushover, so her answer was also quite reasonable. Why should I mind? Tang Yun curled her lips and said, someone is stupid enough to want to be Lin Yi's mistress. Why should I mind? I'm so happy, but I'm just worried that Lin Yi won't like you, huh? Feng Xiaoxiao was stunned. She didn't expect Tang Yun's words to be so sharp. Feng Xiaoxiao thought Tang Yun would strongly object, but she didn't expect Tang Yun to say that. However, Feng Xiaoxiao quickly realized that Tang Yun must have been speaking in anger. Chapter 997 A win-win situation? Didn't Tang Yun and I say the same thing before? I said that if Tang Yun behaved well, I would let her be a mistress reluctantly. Now Tang Yun must have said these words back to me. Thinking of this, Feng Xiaoxiao was not annoyed at all, but was very happy in her heart. Tang Yun, since you said that, I'm sorry, I'm not like you. I don't get angry, I just take advantage of the situation to climb up. Hey, I just like being a mistress. It's so good to be a concubine. It's so tiring to be the first wife. I'm jealous all the time, Feng Xiaoxiao said with a smile. Tang Yun, what if Lin Yi really likes me? Are you sure you are responsible for what you said just now? Tang Yun was suddenly a little speechless, as if she was hesitating. Why, you dare not speak? Feng Xiaoxiao looked at Tang Yun teasingly. What I said counts. If Lin Yi really likes you, then I have nothing to say, Tang Yun, as if provoked by Feng Xiaoxiao, said firmly, if he accepts you, then I will accept you, okay, then it's a deal. Feng Xiaoxiao was smug. After all, Tang Yun wasn't as cunning as she was. She had been fooled. It's a deal, Tang Yun snorted. Then don't give me a hard time again and don't let me get close to Lin Yi, Feng Xiaoxiao seized the opportunity to say. As long as he doesn't say anything, I'll live in peace with you, Tang Yun nodded, her face flushing. Okay, to be fair, from now on, the three of us will eat together and go to and from school together. Feng Xiaoxiao continued to test Tang Yun's limits, hoping to get more benefits from Tang Yun's impulsiveness. Fair is fair. I'm going on a date with him, so I should have told you, okay, Tang Yun said angrily. I'm afraid even if I give you a chance, it's useless. Being a mistress isn't that easy, then just wait and see. Feng Xiaoxiao almost jumped up and cheered. Tang Yun was still too naive, and she had let herself be fooled. Feng Xiaoxiao still couldn't believe it. When she didn't pose a threat to Tang Yun, how could Lin Yi not be attracted to her? Just wait and see, Tang Yun sneered. Who's afraid of who? Lin Yi is back, I hope you'll keep your promise. Sister Tang Yun, Feng Xiaoxiao called Tang Yun that, wanting to confirm her status as Tang Yun's mistress and prevent her from regretting it. Okay, Sister Xiaoxiao. Tang Yun also deliberately emphasized the word Sister Xiaoxiao. Feng Xiaoxiao's heart was filled with joy. She was so lucky today. As long as Tang Yun didn't object, what else did she have to worry about? Tang Yun, watching Feng Xiaoxiao's delight, a slight smile crossed her lips. Who had actually trapped him in this exchange? Tang Yun wasn't stupid at all. She had cleverly exploited a previous conflict between her and Feng Xiaoxiao, setting a trap that had lured Feng Xiaoxiao into it. Perhaps she still felt foolish now, but it was a win-win situation, wasn't it? After Lin Yi returned, Tang Yun gave him a look of triumph, surprising him. Had Tang Yun and Feng Xiaoxiao reached some kind of agreement so quickly? This, in fact, made Lin Yi respect her with a new respect. However, he feigned ignorance and placed 3 servings of wonton noodles on the table, 1 for each person. However, Feng Xiaoxiao's bowl lacked the seaweed and dried shrimp. Huh? Why is there less in mine than yours? Are you biased? Pengzhan was surprised to find her own soup completely empty, thinking, isn't Lin Yi biased to that extent? Seaweed and dried shrimp are both seafood, so I didn't put them in for you, Lin Yi said. Last time you fainted after eating seafood in Yanjing. Are you allergic to seafood? Pengzhan looked into Lin Yi and Tang Yun's bowls and realized that the seaweed and dried shrimp were missing from her bowl. Lin Yi actually remembered these things? She had almost overlooked them, and Pengzhan felt a sudden warmth in her heart. It seemed that Lin Yi still cared about her, at least their relationship was more than just that of ordinary classmates. Yes, but a small amount is okay, Pengzhan said happily. Last time I fainted in the shower at the hotel, thanks to you for saving me, Pengzhan said this deliberately, also for Tang Yun to hear, to emphasize the close relationship between her and Lin Yi. However, Tang Yun's expression was surprisingly calm, as if it was a trivial matter. She just said oh and didn't say anything more. In fact, Tang Yun had already understood Lin Yi's feelings from the way he rejected Feng Xianlong today. Lin Yi may have a little affection for Pengzhan, but Lin Yi has definitely not reached the point where he likes Pengzhan. Today, Feng Xianlong asked Lin Yi to pursue Pengzhan, and Lin Yi was a little hesitant, so how could he have any other relationship with Pengzhan? So Tang Yun didn't take Pengzhan's so-called bathing and the like seriously. Although Pengzhan said it in an ambiguous way, who knows what the real situation is? What's more, Tang Yun has now made up her mind to let Lin Yi be Pengzhan's fake boyfriend. Even if Pengzhan and Lin Yi really have something, Tang Yun will turn a blind eye. She will always remind herself not to fight with a dying person, it's meaningless. What if you win? What if you lose? Pengzhan's terminal illness has already determined the outcome of the whole thing. She can't snatch Lin Yi away from her. Seeing Tang Yun's indifference, Pengzhan suddenly felt like she was playing a one-man show. Feeling a little depressed, she could only look at Tang Yun and continue, Sister Tang Yun, Lin Yi seems very nice to me. He even knows I'm allergic to seafood, I've made a note of that, Xiaoxio. Next time I go out to eat with you, I won't order seafood either. Tang Yun's voice was calm, but her expression was filled with gritted teeth, as if she had reached the limit of her patience. Accepting Pengzhan and truly connecting with her would take time. Even if Tang Yun was generous, she couldn't establish a friendship with her overnight. So Tang Yun had to pretend to be forced, to be helpless. With more contact, she could slowly change. As long as it was a gradual process, Pengzhan would no longer be suspicious. Seeing Tang Yun's gnashing teeth, Pengzhan was delighted. HMPH, Sister Tang Yun, are you regretting this? Just because of a personal dispute, you added a concubine to your family. Wow, ha, I'm such a genius. Xiaoxio, you're amazing. So smart, Pengzhan clenched her fists, her heart filled with hope and fighting spirit. Tang Yun, on the other hand, couldn't help laughing in her heart, but on the outside, she had to pretend to be helpless and angry. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 998. Do you regret it? Lin Yi looked at Tang Yun, then at Pengzhan, a hint of suspicion crossing his face. What's wrong with you? Are you talking in code? No, haha. Sister Tang Yun and I hit it off and became good friends, Pengzhan said with some pride. Right, Sister Tang Yun. Yes, Tang Yun gritted her teeth. Lin Yi frowned, but said nothing more, lowering his head to eat his wontons. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yashi were sitting at a table not far from Lin Yi. Chu Mengyao withdrew her gaze and said calmly, Eat, Xiaoshu, Sister Yao. Why is Pengzhan sitting with Brother Arrow? Chen Yashi looked at the nearby place with some confusion and said, Aren't she and Tang Yun rivals in love? Who knows? Chu Mengyao shook her head, feeling a little confused. However, her attitude had changed a lot since Lin Yi risked his life to save her. She knew that in Lin Yi's heart, Tang Yun's position was irreplaceable, and Chu Mengyao didn't want to oppose Tang Yun, as that would only put her in a more passive position. Oh, Sister Yao, do you think Tang Yun is scared and is looking for a concubine for Brother Arrow to compete with us? Chen Yushu speculated maliciously. Then why don't you go ask? Chu Mengyao frowned and said. Forget it. Chen Yushu shook her head. Lin Yi, Tang Yun, and Feng Xiaoxiao ate their wontons. Although Lin Yi and Tang Yun had intended to chat with Feng Xiaoxiao, their relationship had clearly been strained, and there was no immediate prospect of common topics. So, after a quick meal, they returned to class. As they left the cafeteria, Feng Xiaoxiao noticed Lin Yi trying to hold Tang Yun's hand. With an idea on her mind, she grabbed her hand and said, Lin Yi, you go ahead. I need to talk to Sister Tang Yun. Lin Yi frowned. What are you going to say? Say it to my face. Of course I can't let you hear it behind your back, Feng Xiaoxiao said. Yunayan, don't believe her, Lin Yi said deliberately. If he allowed Feng Xiaoxiao and Tang Yun to walk together without saying anything, it wouldn't be his style, and Feng Xiaoxiao might become suspicious. Oh, Tang Yun nodded. So, Lin Yi walked ahead, while Feng Xiaoxiao held Tang Yun's hand and walked behind. Sister Tang Yun, do you regret this? Feng Xiaoxiao asked. Regret what? I didn't suffer any loss, Tang Yun said. HMPH, Feng Xiaoxiao thought to herself, you keep talking tough, but when the time comes that Lin Yi and I become a reality, you'll have no choice but to accept it. What are you humming about? You're just my concubine, and you'll have to listen to me from now on, Tang Yun said. I'll listen to you, then. Feng Xiaoxiao felt that Tang Yun was being too stubborn and suffering. The two of them, each with their own hidden agenda, chatted and laughed as they returned to the classroom. Lin Yi and Feng Xiaoxiao also entered. Feng Xiaoxiao was delighted. She hadn't expected Tang Yun to be so easily fooled, to be so easily tricked by her words. What did you say to Tang Yun before? Lin Yi asked Feng Xiaoxiao as they returned to their seats. In fact, Lin Yi was genuinely curious about what Tang Yun had said to Feng Xiaoxiao. Lin Yi knew that Tang Yun must have said something to Feng Xiaoxiao that made her happy, but since they hadn't met yet, he didn't know the details, so after returning to the classroom, Lin Yi casually asked. Tang Yun said that she wants to find you a concubine. Feng Xiaoxiao did not hide it. She felt that she had to tell Lin Yi what Tang Yun meant. Otherwise, if Tang Yun agreed but Lin Yi disagreed, it would be useless. Huh? Lin Yi was stunned. Find a concubine? Really? Of course it's true, Feng Xiaoxiao nodded. Are they looking for you? Lin Yi asked back. How did you guess? Feng Xiaoxiao blinked. Lin Yi ignored her, turned around and took out a book. The eldest brother of the Yu family, Yu Danson, is currently a master of the early stage of the Earth rank. He has entered the mysterious Yu family to practice, and is wholeheartedly pursuing the heavenly Dao and entering the heavenly rank. However, Yu Danson is, after all, a person from the Yu family in the secular world. Every once in a while, he still calls the Yu family, but the Yu family wants to find him, but they can't find him, because he is so devoted to practice that time passes by, and it may be more than 10 days or even several months. He cannot be disturbed. Today, Yu Danson had just emerged from retreat. He felt a faint sense of a breakthrough from the early Earth rank to its peak. So, immediately after his release, he hurriedly called Yu Shuxing to share the good news and cheer him and Yu Bide up. Yu Shuxing had been at a loss for the past 2 days. The Yu family had dominated the secular world for years, and everyone acted according to their wishes. Almost every aristocratic family knew that Yu Danson was an Earth rank expert and had entered the hidden Yu family. Suddenly, the Yu family had become the preeminent aristocratic family. For years, the Yu family had consistently acted as the preeminent aristocratic family, organizing family conferences and auctions. They thrived, unrivaled. But then, a sudden appearance disrupted all of this. Lin Yi, who are you? Yu Shuxing gritted his teeth as he examined the file before him about Lin Yi. It detailed everything Lin Yi had done since arriving in Songshan City, each one oozing with utter arrogance. Zhao Kaibing of the hidden family had his legs broken twice by Lin Yi, and his building toppled twice. And the hidden Zhao family had been so silent about this that something must be amiss. Yu Shuxing regretted not considering this earlier. He simply assumed Lin Yi was powerless, so he joined the Zhao family and Zhao Kaibing in tackling him. His impulsive actions ultimately led to disaster. Yu Shuxing blamed himself, and he resented Lin Yi immensely. Now that Yu Biba was dead and Yu Kun was crippled, how could he face his eldest brother, Yu Danson? When his eldest brother had handed him the position of patriarch, He had entered the hidden Yu family alone. His bold promises were still fresh in his mind. He had promised to make the Yu family even more prosperous and secure its position as the foremost of the aristocratic families. But how long had it been? Such a catastrophic event had befallen the Yu family? What was he to do? The Yu family had left in a rage, returning with one dead and one injured. Surely they had become the laughingstock of the other families? In the past few days, Yu Shuxing looked much more haggard, and his eye sockets were deeply sunken. He had not slept well at any night since the day he heard the bad news about Yu Bide. As soon as he closed his eyes, he saw the scene of Yu Bide lying coldly on the morgue. Chapter 999, Conversation with the Yu Family. Lin Yi. If I don't kill you, how can my Yu family have the face to be the head of the aristocratic family? We might as well be shit. Yu Shuxing took a deep breath and said viciously. But he knew that he had to endure it. The Yu family could no longer withstand the storm. Before he found out Lin Yi's background, he had to endure it. In the study, a rapid phone ring rang. This was the Yu family's confidential phone number. Generally, only some private people knew the number of this phone. And the only people who could call this number, besides people within the Yu family, were the heads of several major aristocratic families. Hello, I'm Yu Shuxing. Yu Shuxing was interrupted by the ringing of the phone and answered the phone. Mercury, I'm your elder brother. Yu Daicun was very happy. Naturally, he would share the news of his breakthrough with his second and third brothers first. Bide is with you, right, brother? When Yu Shuxing heard Yu Daicun's voice on the phone, all the grievances and anger in his heart came out at once. When he heard his elder brother asking about Yu Bide, he couldn't help feeling sad. Bide is not here. Oh, go call him quickly. I have good news to tell you two brothers. This is an exciting moment for our Yu family. Yu Daicun didn't notice that Yu Shuxing was in a bad mood. After all, he couldn't see Yu Shuxing's expression through the phone. I can't call him anymore. Yu Shuxing sighed, his voice almost tearful. Brother, Bide is dead. Dead? What do you mean? Yu Daicun was stunned, not quite understanding what Yu Shuxing said. What do you mean dead? Who is dead? Yu Bide, that's my third brother. He's dead, Yu Shuxing said sadly. Brother, Bide is dead. Wow, he died so tragically. What? What did you say? Yu Bide is dead? How did he die? Yu Daicun's head suddenly buzzed. He had never thought that Yu Bide would die. This was too weird, wasn't it? How long had he left the Yu family? Moreover, Yu Bide was also a cultivator. Generally speaking, he rarely got sick. How could he die? He was beaten to death by a dog, Yu Shuxing said sternly. My third brother died tragically. Big brother, you have to help Ida. What did you say? Beaten to death by a dog? Mercury, you don't have a fever, right? Today is not April Fool's Day. Yu Daicun was stunned for a moment. Your third brother is also a master of the early Zhuan level. Even if he was injured, how could he be beaten to death by a dog? Moreover, with the influence of our Yu family in the secular world, who dares to attack our Yu family? Big brother, how could I say that? Not only was my third brother beaten to death, but Yu Kun was also disabled. Yu Shuxing cried and said, Big brother, a master named Lin Yi appeared in the secular world. He is very mysterious, and he doesn't play by the rules at all. He does things unscrupulously. Lin Yi? I've never heard of him. Tell me in detail what happened. Yu Daicun really believed what Yu Shuxing said this time. Even Yu Kun was disabled. It seems that the matter is really serious. Yu Daicun's previous joy of a breakthrough disappeared all at once, and he became helpless. Brother is like this. Yu Shuxing did not dare to hide it. He started from the time when the Yu family took out the incomplete map for auction, and told his elder brother Yu Daicun the whole story in detail. After all, the matter of taking out the incomplete map to attract insiders was also decided with his elder brother. It was not Yu Shuxing's fault. Yu Daicun on the other end of the phone fell silent after hearing what Yu Shuxing said. He never thought that such a master would be hidden beside an ordinary businessman. But he had never heard of this person. And according to what Yu Shuxing said, this person is so powerful. After such a serious injury, he healed so quickly, and he was able to turn a dying dog into a training dog. Yu Daicun couldn't help but sigh at this. I'm not being self-deprecating, but even the hidden Yu clan I'm in now doesn't have this kind of strength. Even if someone from the Yu clan was injured, it's impossible for them to become masters in such a short time, let alone turn a dog into a training dog. According to what you said, that dog was able to kill my third brother. So it must have been at least at the yellow rank. Yes, big brother, this is why I dare not speak out. As a master of the late Zhuan rank, it would be easy for me to kill Lin Yi, but I didn't dare to make a move. Who knows what kind of terrifying force is behind Lin Yi? I'm afraid if I'm not careful, I'll bring disaster to the Yu clan, Yu Shuxing said. It's a good thing you didn't act impulsively. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable, Yu Daitsun sighed. Brother, what should I do now? Should we just let this go? Could you please ask the hidden Yu family to help us? Hearing what his elder brother had said, Yu Shuxing couldn't help but feel a little desperate. You know, I've just arrived at the Yu family, and my status here is still very low. I can't even speak to the core members of the hidden Yu family. There are many masters in the early earth rank here, and I'm just one of them, Yu Daitsun sighed. Now, the only thing you can do is find out Lin Yi's background. Even if the Yu family steps in, they have to know Lin Yi's background. Otherwise, the hidden Yu family won't act rashly. That's the only way, Yu Shuxing said, a little disappointed. He had wanted his elder brother to seek revenge for his family, but it seemed that his elder brother wasn't doing well either, and he was powerless. Suizing, don't be impulsive. Remember, it's never too late for a gentleman to take revenge, Yu Daitsun said. I haven't been here for nothing. Although Earth-level masters cannot come out casually, if there is an important reason, you can apply to the Hidden Family Arbitration Council. As long as you find out Lin Yi's background and we can afford to offend him, I will apply to come out, okay? I'll send Xiao Fen to Songshan City to find out the details of Lin Yi. This matter must not be let go. Yu Shuxing was full of fighting spirit after hearing what his elder brother said. As long as his elder brother showed up, Lin Yi would definitely die. But the key question was, what kind of power was behind Lin Yi? Oh, forget it. Life, old age, sickness and death. Just accept the changes. Yu Daitsun was more open-minded than Yu Shuxing. Those who practice martial arts and do not pursue the way of heaven will eventually leave. I have also become more open-minded here, I understand. Yu Shuxing nodded. By the way, elder brother, what's the matter with you calling me this time? Chapter 1000. Are you jealous? Nothing much, I just wanted to tell you that I'm about to break through to the peak of the early earth rank. But now it seems that's not such good news, Yu Daitsun sighed and said. Has our Yu family been so lucky these past few years? Congratulations, big brother. Yu Shuxing gave a wry smile, not feeling any joy. This was supposed to be a good thing, but now, he was completely lost in sadness. Okay, I'm hanging up now. Time for training is almost up, Yu Daitsun said. Okay, big brother, call home often when you have time, Yu Shuxing said. After hanging up, Yu Shuxing called Yu Feng to his study. Now, Yu Feng was the only one who could discuss matters with the Yu family. Yu Kun lay in his hospital bed, feeling very depressed. There was no way his strength would recover. Every day, he would sigh and cry in front of his father's portrait, which made Yu Shuxing feel very guilty. Father, did you look for me? Yu Feng pushed the door open and walked in, asking carefully. Well, your uncle called. Yu Shuxing looked at his son and said, your uncle is about to break through to the peak strength of the early earth rank. This is good news, but for the current Yu family, this news is not too good news. Yes, if it were any other time, our family would be very happy. Yu Feng sighed and said, Father, what does your uncle say about your third uncle's matter? Your third uncle has not gained a firm foothold in the hidden Yu family yet. It is impossible for him to rely on the power of the hidden Yu family, and he cannot come out casually, Yu Shuxing said. However, your uncle's suggestion is also to find out Lin Yi's background first, and see what kind of background Lin Yi has behind him. Then father, do you mean to let me go to Songshan City according to the previous plan? Yu Feng asked hurriedly. Yes, that's what I think, Yu Shuxing nodded. This time, you go to Songshan City not in the name of the Yu family. Lin Yi has never seen you, and he won't suspect you. You change your name, and I will transfer you to Lin Yi's school. You just need to secretly investigate Lin Yi's background, I understand. Then Lin Yi and I can't have a head-on conflict, right? Yu Feng nodded and asked. That's not the case. According to the information I've investigated, Lin Yi has different attitudes towards different people. Yu Shuxing opened the information in his hand and pushed it to Yu Feng, saying, look, Lin Yi has never killed any of his classmates. Yu Feng took the information handed over by his father and carefully examined it. Sure enough, according to the information, Lin Yi had never been cruel to his classmates. Even if they provoked him, he would just teach them a simple lesson. In that case, I don't have to worry too much, Yu Feng said after reading the information. Moreover, if it really comes down to strength, with my skills at the peak of the early Zhuan stage, I can definitely beat Lin Yi, Xiao Feng. Remember, you can't show off your strength casually. Yu Shuxing waved his hand and said seriously, when you transfer to this school, I plan to arrange the identity for you as a rich second-generation young man. Although you can compete with Lin Yi, it will only be limited to competition between classmates in school. Even if you want to fight, you must do it in secret. Don't confront him openly, understand? I know, Yu Feng nodded, as long as we don't fight, it's fine. I won't let him know that I am a cultivator. And I won't reveal my identity as a member of the Yu family. I will collect information about Lin Yi from the side. That's right, Yu Shuxing nodded. Okay, go and get ready now. I will handle the admission procedures for you immediately. Lin Yi turned around because the head teacher, Mr. Liu, had already walked into the classroom. The classroom suddenly became quiet. After all, the students in the third year of high school are very self-conscious. The arrival of the teacher means that class is about to start. Those who can stay here for evening self-study are all students who like to study. However, this time, Teacher Liu didn't walk in alone. Beside her stood a very handsome boy, so handsome that he was almost intimidating. Behind him were two other boys, but they were less eye-catching. One was short and fat, like a pickled cabbage jar, and the other was tall and thin, like a bamboo pole, like the fat and thin monks in Jin Yuang's martial arts dramas. As soon as the handsome boy entered the classroom, he attracted a burst of gasps from the girls. After all, during the third year of high school, most girls have already begun to fall in love, and when they see a handsome guy, they will instinctively appreciate it. This guy's handsomeness is completely different from Lin Yi's. Lin Yi is more resolute and manly, while this boy can only be described as exquisite. Everyone, please be quiet. I'll introduce you to our new students. Teacher Liu led the handsome boy to the front of the classroom podium and announced, these three are our new transfer students. They're Zi Yufeng, Li Pangu, and Wang Kongming. They've transferred from Nanking City. Now, please allow Zi Yufeng to introduce himself. Everyone, give him a round of applause. A stylish guy like Zi Yufeng is especially popular with the girls. At first glance, he's definitely more pleasing to the eye than Lin Yi. Therefore, Zi Yufeng's appearance drew enthusiastic applause. Zi Yufeng elegantly adjusted his hair, gestured for silence, then smiled softly and looked at the students in the audience. Zi Yufeng, before him, possessed sexy, beautiful thin lips and a straight nose. Beneath a pair of sword-like brows, narrow eyes draped with thick lashes. His deep eyes were like a pool of unfathomable black water, their clear, bright eyes gleaming with a faint, star-like glow. This exquisite appearance was a surefire killer for girls, and a killer indeed. Hello, classmates. My name is Zi Yufeng. I'm from Nanking City, a coastal city in the south. Because of my family's business, I transferred to Songshan City No. 1 High School. I hope we can become good friends. Thank you, Zi Yufeng said elegantly to the students present. I have a wide range of hobbies. I am good at basketball, football, and singing. This guy is so handsome. Feng Xiaoxiao couldn't help but exclaimed after seeing Zi Yufeng. Really? That's great. You can go to the same table with him later. Lin Yi smiled and said. Why, are you jealous? Feng Xiaoxiao turned to look at Lin Yi happily after hearing what Lin Yi said. Are you jealous of him? End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.